Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm the Gulf Coast Granny. I'm just hanging out because can't sleep and I'm bored. So anybody wants to come in here and join me, you are more than welcome. Um, how's everybody doing? I'm going to send some links to some folks. So I won't be here all by myself. If I can remember how to do this. It's been a while. Uh, okay, there we go. My kids had their band, uh, marching band tonight. It was the Mardi Gras parade. And my daughter had a great time. She said it was wonderful this time. It was really crazy and really crowded, but she said she had a lot of fun. So I'm kind of tickled about that. Hey, DJ. Oh my gosh, what are you doing up so late, sweetie? Hang on, guys. I'm going to put a link in here as soon as I get to it, okay? Um, hey, Terry. Hey, Dwayne. Wow, that was fast, y'all. I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So let me. No, here's the problem. I'm not a multitasker. Some people are really good at it. I suck at it really bad. So trying to talk and do this is kind of difficult, and I probably should have done it before now. But wow, I cannot believe you're up this late, DJ. That's crazy. Guess. Hang on. Okay, that's me. There we go. Invite. Copy. I guess that's how you do it. How's everybody doing? Y'all, it is hot in my house. Crazy hot. I asked my son to turn the heater off a minute ago, but I think he hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second. I was right. You're thinking about going to the ER? Terry, what's the matter? No, the chair's not moving by itself. That's hilarious. Hey, DJ, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
Okay, cool.
Oh, look, there's Grumpus. Hey, Grumpus, let me fix the view.
Hey, Grumpus.
Is this where the adults hang out?
Yeah, this is where the grown-ups hang out. Terry, I'm so sorry that your back's hurting so bad. Maybe you should. Well, I don't know. Is it going to be harder to go to the ER than it is just to lay there in agony? Because sometimes it is. I know after dealing with Wesley and Poppy and his arthritic issues, sometimes he'd rather just lay there and suffer than move. You were just, Dwayne said he was just watching an old piece of concert footage. Oh, footage from 1983 at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, and Jeff Beck were doing Stairway to Heaven for a benefit. I bet that was pretty good. Okay, Marcel. I was supposed to send her a link, and I don't remember what I'm doing, so give me 1 second, guys. Is Marcel in here? Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Marcel, you click on it anytime you want to, my dear. Y'all, it has been the longest week. February is supposed to be a really fast month, and it's supposed to be over quickly, and it just wasn't this week.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know exactly why. No one should talk about sweaty. We are not talking about none of that, but definitely shirts are optional. Does that include me? No.
I mean,
Because I'm hotter than Hades right now. I feel like I might be having a personal summer moment. Oh my gosh.
the reason my camera's not on is I'm in bed and
Yeah.
I have no clothes on at
Oh.
all.
Thank you for that, DJ. You're so risque, my friend. See, we even use big words in here too. Look at that.
I'll try to hang in there.
I hope so. Dwayne said it got so cold, very strong north wind, and temperatures are going down. I'm so sorry. Man, I'm telling you what. Hey, Grumpus, what was your weather like today? Was it pretty out?
It was nice today.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. I know y'all got some of that storm, didn't you?
Just the tail end of it.
Oh, that's good. Because you know what? I was going to plant some stuff in the garden last weekend, but I've been watching Ryan Hall, y'all, who I love, and he was saying how bad the weather was going to be in Mississippi. Well, it was in North Mississippi, 8 hours away from me. Down here on the coast. Now, we did have a little bit of rain, but it wasn't. I was afraid that if I planted my seeds, that what would happen was they'd either rot in the thing or they would just be washed away.
Yeah.
So I waited until afterwards to go ahead and plant. And I got more planting to do tomorrow, but today I planted a bunch of lettuce and I planted some carrots and some mustard greens because I love me some mustard greens, y'all.
No.
That's my thing. And they grow really well here. So, and I got to trim. Look, I'm late trimming my roses. I should have cut them back probably 2 weeks ago, but I think they'll be okay because I'm just going to cut them down probably 8 inches tall, every one of them, except for the climbers. The climbers, you got to do differently, but those, I'm just going to mow them over, give them some fertilizer and say, praying you are well, go out and play.
We've got quite a few things I'm going to mow down.
Is your roses?
No, I don't have any roses, but
I've
got other plants.
Things. I'm sorry.
I got other plants I'm going to mow down, just see what happens.
Well, I haven't seen any life out of my lily yet, but
that
I'm not sure when.
Warm up. That water's got to warm up before it comes back.
Okay. I thought maybe I might see a little bit of green coming up, but it's still February, so
Yeah. My water temperature's been in the high 40s to low 50s.
Okay, see, I'm not even monitoring mine.
Well, I got mine monitored pretty easy, just because once it gets down around 55, I stop feeding the fish.
Oh, because their metabolism slows down so much.
They can't digest it anyway, and they're right. Semi-dormant, so I just stop. But yeah, it was sunny for the most part of the day. It was sunny.
Yeah, it was beautiful today. I mean, just beautiful. It was a little tiny bit windy, but it was a nice wind. It wasn't the kind that,
It was pretty windy yesterday. Friday, it was pretty windy.
Definitely. But
last Saturday was downright cold.
Oh God, wasn't it?
I sat out next to the pit all day Saturday. And the warmest it got outside was 58. And that's when I started the fire, and it steadily got colder all day.
Yeah, yikes. I hope that we've seen, well, I know we haven't, because I don't know if your area is like this or not, but every Easter we always get a cool front. Now, it's not usually a freezing cold front, but we usually get some kind of cold weather. And I'm scared to put my tomatoes out because we're having a late Easter this year.
We usually get a good frost or a freeze the last part of March.
Right. And so I'm not sure. I think I'm going to wait till April 1st to put my tomatoes out.
I always wait till April 1st.
Do you?
My neighbors get out and start trimming everything back and getting everything all ready in the middle of March. I said, man, you need to wait.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it'll come in a freeze that last week or two of March, and all the work they did freezes all that new growth they
Oh,
they
gee.
determine.
And especially if they're fruit trees, good grief.
So I don't
You just
trim
froze
nothing.
off all your fruit.
I don't trim anything to encourage new growth until April Fools.
Well, and with roses, it don't matter because they'll just come back.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to worry about those. But I'm not even putting my zinnias or my sunflowers or any of those flowers out. I've got some daylilies that I want to plant. And no, don't prune your baby trees yet. What kind of
Not
trees?
yet.
Wait a minute. I think hers are evergreen though. Oh, they're red oaks and bur oaks and maples. I would not do
The
it.
thing, Marcel, the thing you have to keep in mind is when you start trimming, you start promoting new growth. And you don't want all those. You don't want to encourage a bunch of new buds if there's a chance they're going to freeze.
Exactly.
You'll just stun it for the summer. It won't kill it, but you'll just stun it for the summer.
Right. Yeah. It won't be fatal, but your trees won't look near as pretty. Yeah. But yeah, I'm waiting until April to put out all my flowers too, and that kind of makes me sad because I really like to get them done early March, or at least put the seeds out. But this year, I'm not trusting it. Not after what we went through last year and this cold winter we've had. No.
That's right.
I don't trust it. And I know, like I said, we're having a late Easter, and because I think Easter is way into mid-April.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's when the kids are out of school for their spring break. And next year is going to be the same way. Because next year, let me tell you how I know this in a minute. But next year's spring break is from April 11th to the 15th. So Easter is either the weekend before or the weekend after. And the year before that, Easter was on Millie's birthday. And her birthday's April 12th. So I don't know what this thing is with the whole late Easters, but I don't trust none of this. When it goes back to being in March, I'll start planting in March. Oh.
Somebody's been on the,
that's hilarious.
Somebody's been on the internet.
Marcel, learn the new word germinate. Germinate. That's the one you need right now. I was thinking about putting some seedlings, going over to the feed farm store tomorrow and picking up my tomato plants. But I used to have a 55-gallon aquarium in the living room. And I used the bottom of it for my grow light table. Mm-hmm. And it was just a shelf, but it would hold, oh my God, it was 4 feet long and about 18 inches deep. So it would hold 5 of those great big trays.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I could always, it was great. Poppy had it rigged up so I could lower and raise the lights if I needed to and everything. Well, I took the aquarium out because the cats ate my angelfish. That's my life, y'all. And so we put it outside on the patio in front of the shed. And I'm thinking about running an electric cord out there, hooking my lights up, and just I've got a heat pad thing for plants, and putting it down on the thing and just setting the tomatoes there outside until I'm ready to plant them. Because they'll get more light out there than they do inside. Yeah. But that way I don't have to clutter up my house because usually in the springtime, my house is so cluttered with every kind of plant and every kind of seedling. And I've got 2 greenhouses that I set up. And this year I'm just not doing it. I'm going to go buy most of my seedlings. I might not buy my squash. Because there's a particular squash that I want to grow this year. It's called Trombosino. And it's a great big long squash. And it's got this ball at the end of it. And it looks like a trombone almost. Except that great big bulbous thing at the bottom. But it's a zucchini. And it's supposed to be one of the most resistant squashes to the my nemesis. What's its name? Come on, guys. The moth. Not squash bugs. Vine borers. Vine borers. So I'm going to grow it and see what happens. And I saw you grin. I chose to ignore it. Evan is going to build the raised beds, determined not to kill everything I plant this season.
That's what I
Well,
was reading.
Marcel, expect a little bit to die off because I've been gardening for 20 years and I still have things die on me. Everything died on me last year. I didn't get hard. I got a few tomatoes out of my garden, but I didn't get a lot. The bugs are the worst. The bugs will kill everything. Places like Texas and Florida are blessed because they have, shoot, Dwayne, we can grow 24/7 here.
Well, my grandma used to put seeds out. She said you put some out for yourself, some for the critters, and some to never come up.
Exactly.
You know,
And that's how it works, you know. And then, of course, you have your poor germination years where, do you remember my corn harvest last year?
No, I don't.
Oh, my God. I had the most beautiful corn, and it got like 4.5, 5 feet tall, had these little itty bitty ears on it, and I kept waiting for them to grow. And finally, by fall, I looked at them and I said, they're not growing. So I opened them all up, and there's like, they look like a redneck's teeth. There might have been 6 kernels in each cob of corn. But I'll tell you what, my chickens ate them things up. They loved them. So I've given plants to friends, and they killed them. They don't have a great... I kill indoor plants. I don't kill outdoor plants, but I'm not an indoor plant kind of girl. But I grew Brussels sprouts out there over the winter, and they're still brustling. And I got Brussels sprout and kale. I've got dinosaur kale out there, and I've got what's that other thing? Oh, it's a blue curly kale. It's not blue. They call it blue, but it's not blue. But it's a curly kale. And I'm not a huge fan of kale. The only reason I grew kale is because I love white bean and kale soup with big old chunks of ham in it. That's one of my favorite things in the world. So that's the only reason I grew it. And I'll probably harvest it and, chop it up and stick it in the freezer.
I'm probably just going to do tomatoes and some peppers and onions this year.
That's all you're going to do?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough I can make a salsa.
Yeah. Shoot. I'm kind of ashamed of myself.
I'll take that back. I'll do some basil and rosemary and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But, my garden just didn't do anything last year.
Look at there. Jason Cleveland's on there talking.
Where's Jason been? I ain't seen him in forever.
I don't know. I don't even know who Jason is. Hello. Do I know you, Jason? Thank you for coming to our live stream, though. I appreciate it.
Jason, how you been, stranger?
So, DJ, how's your new format working out for you? Your new way you're doing your channel?
Yeah, it's been going good. I've been seeing some improvement in view and watch time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I thought you might. I really did. I haven't. You know what? I need to get off my behind, y'all. Grumpus, did you film any of your sitting by the smoker?
Oh no, it was way too cold. I had committed on Thursday. My neighbor across the street was going to have a Super Bowl party.
Right.
He called me Thursday, wanted to know if I was going to have the pit fired up because he was wanting to do a brisket for his party.
Right.
And it's pretty. So I told him, I said, well, just bring it over. We'll fire it up. I'll do it for you. And man, that cold blew in, and I like to froze to death.
I'm going to send you some hand warmers.
It was raining. I had to put a tarp up so I could feed wood into the firebox without getting soaked.
Oh my God. terrible.
It was awful. That's the worst weather I think I've ever cooked in. But the brisket was a big hit, and I got some new subscribers out of it. So I guess it was worth it.
Good. I've gotten a few new subscribers. I'm up to 1111. I think that's a lucky number, what I hear from people. But and actually, I was just looking at my live stream before I made a quick exit somewhere else, and not my analytics, and apparently my watch time's gone up and my views have gone up.
That's great.
Just since December. I mean, not tremendously, but they got the green arrows going up, so I'm okay with that.
I think I could probably do a lot better if I do a video.
Well, and that's how I'm feeling about it too. And you know,
I haven't done one this year.
Yeah, if I would post a video now and then, I'd probably do a lot better hours. Let me see. It's not too many more. Shoot. Where's the stinking? There it is. Let me see.
Analytics, yeah.
Because I made a couple of streams private because I think I was a little too tipsy and I ran my mouth too
those
much.
are the best kind.
Nah. No.
The ones you don't remember making?
No, I remember it. It's just, by the end of that live stream last week, I had drank so much Fireball and then I switched to wine because Poppy brought. I'm at 34.89 public, but I'm over
34.89. What is that?
3,489 hours of watch time. I got to get 4,000.
Oh, okay. So that's total.
Hours. I'm
that's
sorry.
Total. Okay.
Hours. But I mean, it'll come. I'm not even going to stress about it.
It'll come with time, yeah.
Yeah. And when it does, yay, I'll put that whole $16 in my stupid sinking funds.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Right. Because God knows, I don't know. I just can't seem to. But you know what? I've been watching all these budgeting channels. And let me tell you something. They get subscribers like quick. Really quick. Really quick. Oh, God. DJ, what'd you do? Where'd DJ go? I lost him. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry, DJ. There you are. What did you do? Okay, don't be showing your naked body.
I know. I accidentally switched.
You pushed the wrong button.
Yeah, and
I do that all the time.
When I did that, I couldn't hear y'all. So
oh no!
I had to leave and come back in.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, Dwayne, inflation is creeping up big time, and the news is saying it's only like what 6 or 7%. I beg to differ, especially at the grocery store.
Not shopping where I shop.
That's right. It's ridiculous. They want $22 for a flat of chicken wings at Winn-Dixie. $22. Do you know you used to get those things for like 25 cents a pound? Of course, now this is a long time ago. Maybe too long ago.
Well, I was at the HEB Thursday night. Mm-hmm. And they was wanting $5.99 for select brisket. Select brisket. Yes. Select brisket should be around the $2 mark.
Did you buy?
Oh, heavens no.
Thank goodness.
No way.
That's a lot. Our Winn-Dixie here usually has pretty good sales on meat, but they've been few and far between here lately. Like those shoulder roasts I bought, those were what? It was either $1.99 or $2.99 a pound. I bought 3 of those bad boys because I grabbed all I thought I could eat in a month. And I usually do that when Winn-Dixie has a sale like that. Like this week, they have buy one get one free little pork tenderloins, and I'm probably going to go get about 4 of them. Maybe 5, 6, 6. 5,
Now
6.
those are the ones that come two to a package.
Yeah. And I love those.
Yeah, I got a few of
I
those in
do
the
not
freezer.
like the ones that are already marinated, though.
Oh, I don't either.
They've got like a rubbery texture to them that I don't care for very much.
I think they sit in the marinade too long. It tickles them.
Yeah. And so I always get the ones that don't have any marinade, so I can just do it myself. You know. Oh, Marcel said
That's
brisket
right,
has
Marcel.
always been pricey, but I saw some for over $100.
The select that I looked at was $64
Oh my
for a select
God.
brisket. That's a sin.
Terry said he looked at a choice today for $4.99 a pound. What's up? You mean like a steak or a brisket or?
That's a brisket choice.
Is that a brisket? Okay.
Yeah.
$4.99.
I mean, well,
and now
it's
choice
a grade
is
of beef. It's a grade of beef.
Great. Okay. Dairy product. Yes, sir. I paid over $4 for a gallon of milk yesterday. I couldn't believe it. And the heck of it is, okay, Poppy did it. I told him, I said, you shouldn't have spent that much on a gallon of milk. You should have just went ahead and got a half gallon. He said, well, it's a better deal to buy a whole gallon. I said, not when your son don't drink it all, and half of it goes bad in the refrigerator. True. But so I'd rather spend. Well, it's spending less, but it is not quite the deal. But I'd rather him be able to use it than waste it, because I can't feed rotten milk to the chickens. Well, I guess I could, but I'd have to let it get real good and crunchy or chunky.
Well, get a little blinky and make some gravy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcel said that she started sewing again, and she's going to make some pillowcases to sell. Cotton fabric has gone up. Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a sewer.
$6 per gallon. Jeez.
What did he say?
Dwayne says $6 for a gallon of milk. Almost $6.
That's in Canada. But see, their dollar's different than ours, too. But I don't know if that makes a difference, because when he's living there, that's what it is. So
I can drink wine cheaper than that.
Right? Well, I don't drink a lot of milk. I cook with it occasionally, but I don't drink it. But my son, he can go through some milk, especially when he's making those protein smoothies, because he has to drink a protein smoothie about every day because he's 13 and looks like a fourth grade. He's just really thin, super thin, and he's grown so much, though. He's almost as tall as me, and that just happened.
Yeah.
Like overnight.
Yeah, I know that was.
He's growing so fast. Inflation is going up everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Marcel, tell us more about your pillowcases, because I need some. I was thinking about making baby blankets out of, crocheting them and opening up a little Etsy shop.
No.
I'm not used to doing that. I usually make baby blankets for people that I want to have a baby blanket handmade by me. I'm not used to selling my stuff. I give my stuff away. And I'm not sure how much I'll love to crochet once I'm having to sell it.
Right, and it turned into a job real quick.
Right. So I'm thinking, number one, I'm not going to take any special orders. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And however many are up there, that's what I've got. Don't ask me if I've got more. And if I make 2 a year, fine. If I make 25,000 a year, that's fine too. Oh gosh, Marcel, I wish you lived closer. I could teach you in a weekend. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. One of your aunts used to knit things, and she was very good at it. Oh, I wish I was a knitter, but I'm not. I'm an instant gratification kind of lady, and knitting just does not show me a product fast enough. I can crochet a 36 by 36 blanket in a day and a half. And it's
Right.
done. So, well, a simple blanket. Now, if it's one of those fancy ruffly ones, then it'll take a little bit longer, probably 3 days. But, and another thing is, you know, the older I get, the worse it is on my hands. I'll sit there and crochet for 2 hours and I'm like, oh my God, my hands are killing me. And I'll have to set it down and walk away for a while. So that's going to take longer too. But I thought, you know, with this whole budgeting thing and trying to save for retirement, if I have a skill, why not use it to try to
Yeah.
further that? You know? I need a side hustle, y'all. Grady's on a budget. Dang it. Let me. I'm going back to what happened, y'all. This is a story. All that money I was saving, having a little binder and all my little savings envelopes in there, and I was having so much fun coloring a picture every time I put money in it. I had, I don't know, about $560 saved since the last time I had to empty it because of medical deductibles. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I was doing good. I was about to pay off all the band fees. It was going to be $275, and I'm like, yes, I'm almost done. Okay. And I did. I paid off the band fees. And that same day, we had a band meeting, and they planned a trip to Disney for the kids next year. To the tune of $965 a kid.
What?
So I had to pay deposits on top of that. Now all my money's gone. Well, it was yesterday. So Papa got paid yesterday, and I refilled them all. Well, I didn't fill them, but I stuffed some more envelopes, and I started over. And good Lord, I hope I don't have to go through it again anytime soon.
Well, that's why Dave Ramsey says have a what's he
have
say?
an emergency fund.
Save
$1,000. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But something happens every time.
Because things happen. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, and I was really, really upset. I had me a little girl moment, and I had a come undone. And it was somewhere between a crying fit and a redneck scene. Okay? And he sat me down and he said, Charlotte, you need to think about it like this. If you hadn't been saving all that money,
exactly,
our kids would not be on the bus to go there. They would miss out. And I started thinking, I said, well, yeah, you're right. Right.
You were basically
and I want them to be able to go, you know.
You're basically saving for something you didn't know about yet.
Right. But all these unexpected things that keep popping up, I'm tired of it. It's time for life to get back to routine. Routine everywhere. But dang. And then I figured out last week that not only my daughter's getting a scholarship for band. It's going to pay 100% of her tuition.
Nice.
She's also getting an ACT scholarship because she scored really good on her practice test, like a 25. And it only goes up from there. You know, you take them over and over again, and they'll take the highest score. So she's going to score higher than a 25. Well, a 25 will get her another $750 scholarship per semester at this college. So all I'm going to have to pay for is about half of her room and board.
Okay.
So she can go live somewhere else during college and learn how to be a responsible young person.
Right.
And because she ain't going to learn that here. Because she's got a mama who goes in there and wakes her up every morning and says, come on in, it's time to get out of bed. Until the fourth time I have to go in there, and I'm like, put your feet on the floor, you're going to get it. But it's a battle. So I've got to save like $3,600 a year for tuition or for her room and board, which is not bad. It's great because it could be so much more.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that same vein, that's money that I can't put in the retirement fund. So, yeah. But I'm really proud of her. I'm really, really super proud of her.
Yeah, that's good.
There's no telling what other scholarships she'll get between now and next year, because next year's her senior year, so she'll be privy to all that information next year.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I told her, I said, you write as many essays as you can write to get a scholarship. I said, what I want you to do is if it's too much for you, give them to me. I'll write them.
There you go.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
How are you doing? We're having grown-up night. You feeling grown up tonight? I'm so ugly. I should shut up. Look, Grumpus is over there biting his tongue.
Yeah, I'm biting my tongue.
I can see it. That's funny. Oh, I was going to tell you last week when I was drinking all that stuff, I started feeling like I was wobbling in my chair. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? There ain't no earthquakes in Mississippi. So I told everybody, I'm like, okay, I got to go. I'm tired. Good night. So I ended the stream like, bam, lickety split.
It ended pretty abruptly.
Do what?
It ended pretty abrupt.
You did. I was like, bam, I'm done. So I walked back into the bedroom and I'm making all kinds of noise apparently. And Poppy turned around and looked at me and goes, are you drunk? I said, I am a little bit. Why? He says, just lay down and shut up and go to sleep. I said, okay. I ain't gonna argue with that. Yeah, was I, Patrick? Patrick, you weren't even in the chat. Were you lurking? Because I did. I don't know if I was wobbling or not, but I felt like I was just doing this. It was wild. I ain't never done that before. But
yeah.
So what do y'all got planned for the coming week? Anything?
That far ahead.
What'd you say?
I don't plan that far ahead.
Oh, DJ, what about you?
Just look on my videos, and I'm waiting to see when I could apply to the camp I want to go to.
Oh, that's right. You have told me about that before.
Yeah.
What is next week? Let's see here.
And for anyone just curious about what I'm talking about, there's a camp for special needs in my hometown of Jacksonville that is a week long.
Oh, that's good. That would be so nice.
Camp.
I didn't know you were from Jacksonville.
I feel like I have mentioned that before.
You might have, now that I think about it. What hospital were you born in?
I don't know that.
You don't know? I was born at St. Vincent's Hospital.
I know, but I can't remember.
Oh, you don't want to say it on the thing?
No, like, I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
So there's Memorial, there's St. Luke's, there's Baptist, there's St. Vincent's.
Might have been Memorial, I believe.
Memorial?
Yeah.
That used to be a really good hospital. I don't know if it is now or not, but that's where all the rich people used to go.
Yeah, like I said, I can't remember off the top of my head right.
Right.
So I would have to update you on that bit later.
It's so funny because Oh, y'all, it's dark in here. My daughter and I were born at the same hospital, 20 years and 5 days apart. Oh, Lord, I'm making y'all dizzy. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord, I'm almost out of water for my tea. That's tragic.
Yeah.
That could be a real situation. Because I will not drink the water in my town. I will bathe in it, and I'll use it for other stuff, but I do not drink it.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna head out and go to sleep.
All right, DJ. Well, I'm so happy that you popped in.
Yeah, and anytime. But I wasn't expecting you to go live today.
I wasn't expecting me to either, to be honest with you, but I figured why not? I'm awake.
Alright, well,
You
I
know.
will see you next time.
All right, my dear.
All right, we'll see you, DJ.
Good night, my honey.
Yeah, I had to look at my calendar. I almost forgot. I'm going to go to the barbecue cook-off.
Are
this
you?
coming weekend. I forgot it.
What are you going to cook?
Oh, I'm not entered. I'm just going to go.
Oh.
It's supposed to be probably I don't know, a dozen or so YouTubers are going to show up.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
CJ out of California, Daddy Dutch, he's up in Iowa. He's coming down. There's several of us here in Houston going to meet over there. I'm not sure if we're
How far away is it from where you are?
Oh, it's just across town.
Oh, okay.
It's over by the stadium.
Right. Sorry, guys, all this noise. I've got to make some tea or we're going to have a disaster.
But it should be a pretty good time. Get to meet a bunch of people.
Yeah. Grab yourself some more subscribers, too.
Well, I mean, we all talk all the time.
Oh, you okay.
You know, shake hands and meet everybody.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be a lot of fun. Are you going to take Mrs. Grumpus with you?
I don't know. She's not too keen on going.
She's not?
Well,
she must be like me.
Well, she knows I'm going to be hanging with the guys, and she'll be just standing off to the side, and I haven't heard if they're taking their wives or not.
I get that. Oh my God, y'all.
She can beg out of it.
Right. And that's understandable, truly. Tonight, Violet had to march in that Mardi Gras parade, and y'all know from my Mardi Gras. Have y'all ever seen my Mardi Gras video about the baby and the king cake?
I don't recall that.
Oh, you must go and watch my Mardi Gras video. It says, "Why is there a baby in the cake?" I think is on the title.
Look it up. I may have watched it. It don't sound familiar, but I may have seen it.
But anyhow, I'm not a fan of Mardi Gras. I don't understand it. I didn't grow up Catholic, so it means nothing to me.
Yeah, I'm not big crowds.
And exactly, and in my opinion, it's just a whole season of debauchery before you go to church and get black stuff stuck on your forehead and pretend like you're, you know. But anyhow, I'm not here to judge. I don't see the sense in it. And I'm a practical lady. So anyhow, but it's really big here. Really big here. And of course, they have their parade every year. And I don't know if you remember, I was talking about how when Violet marched in the parade before, it was a bad situation for her. And she was very, very scared and out of her element. And so we decided that if she ever marched in another one, and we knew she would, but because of COVID, they didn't have one last year, and we didn't have to march with her. But this time, poor Poppy, I felt really sorry for him because he's having knee problems, but he put on his knee brace, took his medicine, and went down there and marched 3 miles with her to make sure nobody was inappropriate with her. And the only reason I didn't do it is because I didn't think I could keep up with them. I walk a lot, but I don't walk fast. I just stroll. Why is my dog in the front yard? Are you kidding me?
Did she escape?
It sounds like it. Come here, you little noodle head. Dinah. Dinah. Oh, maybe she's on the other side. She's not in the front yard. She's in the backyard, but she's on the side of the house. It sounded like she was in the front. Dinah, get in this house, you little ding-a-ling. Good grief. So anyhow, he did the marching, and he said he had a lot of fun because he was in the band when he was in high school, so he said it brought back lots of memories for him. And his daughter was very impressed that he could stay in step with everybody. Which I thought was kind of cute. Got a lot of flannel that looks similar.
Now, Patrick was asking if I had the same shirt on as last week. Maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think the last one was more blue.
I've got quite a few flannel shirts that I rotate around, but
I should get Poppy some.
I did wash flannel shirts at the first of the week, so it could be the same shirt.
It could be. I like flannel shirts. They're very comfortable.
If it gets cold, that's what I'm it's either Hawaiian shirts or flannel shirts.
Yeah.
Long sleeve or short sleeve. That's all I go.
I like my hoodies.
That's
when
too
it's
gangster
cold.
for me.
Well, what's great about a hoodie, and see, you're not a lady, so you don't know this, but you can put a tank top on underneath, and then you can put a t-shirt on and layer your clothes and stay warm, and you don't have to wear all your underclothes. And nobody is any the wiser. Now, that doesn't happen to be the case today, but if it was really cold outside, it might be. Because who wants to do all that dressing if you don't have to? I do. I love hoodies. Now, and even if they don't have the hood on them, even if they're just a sweatshirt, I like the V-neck kind. I don't like something up here. But yeah, I love a sweatshirt. Love them. And actually, I like sweatpants too. Look. See? Terry said when I had my knee scope, they did both at the same time, and you walked out the same day.
Man, he pretty.
Terry, how long ago was that?
He's pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, I know when Poppy had his hip scopes, the doctor told me the first time, and he'll tell you the same story. It's hilarious. But before we left the hospital, the doctor told me, do not let him lay around. After about 2 days, get him up. Make him walk back and forth to the bathroom, make him do this and that, but get him up. Well, the first 2 days, I made breakfast for him and brought it to him. I made lunch and brought it to him. I waited on him hand and foot. The only time he had to get up and walk was when he went to the potty. Well, the third day, he was downstairs sleeping on, I had put a bed down there so he didn't have to climb up and down the stairs. Well, that night before, he decided he wanted to sleep in the bed because he don't like to sleep if I'm not anywhere near him. So he ended up crawling up the stairs that night. And the next morning, of course, I helped him. Okay, I didn't just let him do it by himself. But the next morning, he said, honey, would you go get me a cup of coffee? I said, no, go get it yourself. He said, oh, I just had surgery. I said, yeah, and the doctor told me to get you up on the third day. Now get up and go. He was so mad at me. I can't believe you won't just go get me some coffee. I'm like, believe it, buddy. I cannot believe how mad he was that day. He was furious. But you know what? He got up and he walked and he did it. Now he had to sit on the stairs to go down the stairs, which, you know, if you want coffee bad enough, you'll find a way, right? I've seen people walking around in jeans and t-shirts when it was negative 40 degrees. Yeah, I can't imagine that either. That's just insane. That's asking for what, Grumpus?
That's asking for sick leave.
Yeah, it's asking for your nose to fall off and your fingers too. That's insane. I think people do stuff like that just for to shock other people. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't feel the cold. I can't imagine it. Patrick, a scope is when you have an arthritic joint. And what usually happens with degenerative types of arthritis is it gets real raggedy in there from the cartilage just kind of tearing up. So they'll go in there and they'll clean it up and smooth it out so that it doesn't cause you any pain or as much pain, and it doesn't prevent you from being able to walk or use whatever joint it is that is having problems. Usually it's your bigger joints, like
but the
knees
scope,
and hips.
The scope part is the camera, right?
It's the camera, yeah. They do it laparoscopic, or they make a few cuts and then they stick all their instruments in there. One of them's a camera, and but everybody calls it a scope for short because that procedure, they just call it a scope. And but anyhow, it does help for people who have enough cartilage left to be able to clean it up and walk. But that's one of the reasons Poppy had his hip replacement, was because once they went in there the second time to fix that left hip, there was nothing left when they were done. And so he was walking with bone on bone, and it was causing him intense agony. And that's when they did the hip replacement. So, but now he's walking on this knee, and it's crunching and popping, and it's just bad. And it's been off and on since about November, and I've been telling him every weekend, hey, why don't you go to the doctor Friday? Hey, why don't you go to the doctor Monday? Hey, you really need to go to the doctor for that knee and get, I will. Well, 2 Fridays ago, he was at work and went to pivot on that leg to turn and do something else.
Ooh.
And he said it crunched, and it said it felt like there was an ice pick that went through it. And it's been hurting him ever since. And it's not going to stop. Well, here's the funny thing. Last November, he was at the doctor complaining about that knee, and they took an x-ray of it. And I guess they were playing I Got a Secret, because they never called him and told him what the x-ray said. So when he called last week to make the appointment to go in this week, the nurse looked at the x-ray that they had taken back in November and said, oh, well, I'm not surprised. Your knee looks terrible. It's eat up with arthritis. And he's like, and y'all didn't bother to call and tell me that 4 months ago? So it is what it is. They're making him go to physical therapy to fix it. We've been down this route this is the 4th time, where they'll say, oh, you just need to go to physical therapy. And then, of course, physical therapy doesn't work because he has degenerative arthritic disease. And they haven't figured that out yet, apparently. It's protocol. I guess they have to go through the steps. And so anyhow, what they're going to do, he's going to go to this appointment. I forget when it is. But he's going to talk to the person and say, hey, this is what I have. I've tried this 4 other times. Physical therapy never works. I'll come to your stupid physical therapy, but it ain't going to work. Why are we wasting our time doing this?
I wonder if the insurance company forces them to go to therapy first.
Well, I don't know because it's the VA. So, I don't know.
I mean, they may not cover it. You know, it being a last resort, they may not cover it until you've gone through the preliminaries, even though it's totally unnecessary.
Right. And wait a minute. Oh, no, it's not a knee replacement. They got his meniscus fixed. He thinks it's time to do it again. It does, Patrick. It does suck for Wesley, and I'll be glad when he does get it fixed. It's just part of.
He needs to get it fixed because you'll bring him coffee for 2 days.
2 whole days, yeah. I will. And I'll probably cook for him for those 2 days too. So he better just go on and get it done. But oh, Terry said even where he's at, you have to have PT first. So that you're probably right. I don't understand it because somebody who has an arthritic condition, they know what the next step is going to be. It's not PT. It's an MRI, find out where it's broken and fix it. That's the only option. But they make these people suffer for weeks and weeks on end when it's unnecessary, and that's what irritates me. And then, I got to hear him grunting and hollering and grimacing in his sleep and flip-flopping like a fish because he's in pain. And I'm like, good God, get that thing fixed. You're driving me nuts. No.
We got yard work to do. Get that knee fixed.
Right? I'm going to have to get another bedroom. Well, see, that's my hope. My hope is that when my daughter goes off to college, Poppy will let me have her bedroom. I'm dreaming, y'all.
Yeah, I bet he's all over that.
I'm dreaming. Damn it. I want my own room. And I don't mind visiting every now and then. That's fine. But I want my own space.
Visitation rights.
Yeah. I'll even set up a schedule for him if he won't. But dang. Look, I grew up as the only girl in a house full of boys. I never had to share my bedroom. I never had to share my clothes. I never had to share anything.
So you just never learned to share.
I didn't. I never did. In fact, I've got a nightstand next to my side of the bed, and he'll come over there sometimes and start plundering through my nightstand. I was like, why are you touching my stuff? Well, I'm looking for so-and-so, and you keep it over. Well, I'll look for it. Because I know where it is. You're making too much noise. But yeah, I hope that it's not a long physical therapy that they want him to go through, because he'll just be so, I don't know how he does it sometimes. I really don't. He has this condition. He still goes to work every day. He still busts his butt and does everything that he's supposed to do.
I didn't know I was on yet. I was still.
You're here, Marcel. You're here.
Message, like I'm in the back.
But he goes above and beyond every single day, whether he hurts, and there's not many times anymore that he doesn't hurt. So I don't think that I can be that person.
Well, if he's not able to handle it, they may not push him through it very long.
I hope not. They probably are going to want him to try, but mine was 6 weeks. Oh, okay, Terry. That's not as long as it was last time. Last time before his hip replacement, they wanted him to do 12 weeks, which was fine because he was in the Navy and he didn't have to go to work. So,
how you doing, Marcel?
Yeah, you look awfully pretty this evening.
I showered. I did all the
cleaned
things.
up real nice, didn't she?
It's amazing
Got
what a
my
shower
haircut?
can do.
Yeah. Well, coming out of a week of the plague, so
Uh-oh.
yeah, no, we
Look,
actually.
she's done had the plague and still looks this good.
Well, I look this good because it's finally flushed out of my system, but we actually did catch COVID. So,
So the whole family?
yeah, my husband brought it home to us from work, and y'all remember me talking about he had the week off a
The
couple weeks
sinus
ago,
infection
and,
thing.
like, you know, he nearly died, and you know, because of me. But I mean, but anyhow, he was legitimately sick, but you know, never got a positive result, never went back to follow up. But
Right.
he didn't seem sick enough to have it, you know.
Right.
But anyhow, then I caught it, and then my son started having the exact same symptoms. So I went ahead and took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, let's test him." And sure enough, they called us 30 minutes later, and they were like, "He's positive for COVID, flu negative." And I was like, "Well, then that's what we've all had." Because
Oh my goodness.
but
So
yeah,
your husband really had the COVID when you were so mad that he was taking time off?
well, you know, he was, but you know,
I get
I
it.
don't know, but you
I
know,
understand.
but if he had gone back, and I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong, because truthfully, I was team like, you're not sick enough to have COVID, your butt should be at work.
Well, yeah,
And
because they on the news they propagate that it's a death
yeah,
sentence. You know.
yeah, we were, and it just wasn't that way. And so anyhow, he you know, he didn't stay put. You know, we're clean anyway. Like, we really do try to sanitize and clean. Our house isn't like trashed or anything like that. But
Right.
we weren't taking extra precautions, and he didn't quarantine. As you know, he was literally running from side to side in the house, touching everything, including things he shouldn't have touched.
Right.
And but he was everywhere.
Damn it.
And so just spreading it around. But then I caught it, and then my oldest caught it. And luckily so far, Emery has not caught
Oh,
it.
thank goodness.
So yeah, so interesting. But yeah, we had a lot of sinus pressure and swollen sinuses. We sounded very, very nasal and stopped up.
Right.
Very mild sore throat. Never had a dry cough. All the things, you know, I know not everybody gets every symptom. Like, my
Right.
son never lost taste and smell. I never lost smell, but like everything just tasted salty. Even water
Ugh.
tasted salty.
Yeah.
Even just water. And I still have a little touch of that. Like, that's not totally subsided yet, but we never had fever. It wasn't that bad. Like, it was for us. We're lucky. You know,
Yeah.
we have very mild, a little bit of body aches, a little bit of chills, but no fever. Nothing, no detectable fever.
Good. Good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm breaking ice. I need some tea.
Yeah, I'll pass on ever having that again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Terry said he just got over it too, and he thought he got the sinus pressure and all the sinus problems too. See, I didn't. I got a fever for like 2 days, and it wasn't a high fever. It was just enough to make you feel like, ooh, I got a fever, you know.
Yeah, like, yeah, just
kind of ick.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I don't even think it ever went over 100.5. And then, and that's when everything started hurting. My back, my arms, my legs, everything. And I thought, honestly, that I had arthritis. And I'm thinking, there's no way arthritis shows up this fast. Because that's what it felt like when your fingers ache from, I don't know if y'all are old enough for that or not. But anyhow, and then the fatigue set in, and I battled that fatigue for over a month.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
I think it's just a hard one to kick, but
yeah.
the other thing that happened was my all around here, my eyes under here and my face was super puffy.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, it was really weird.
Y'all don't look at my kitchen. It looks like a bunch of raccoons broke into my house.
Yeah. So
Well, actually, it's not too bad. My daughter did clean the kitchen today. She did a good job, but Poppy cooked.
oh, that's good. What did he cook?
I don't know because I slept through it. I took a nap and they weren't home whenever I went and laid down. I was just really, really tired. So I went and laid down and ended up falling asleep watching something on YouTube. I don't even know what I was watching on YouTube, but it was just there for the noise. And then when I woke up, there was dishes all over the stove and, plates out and stuff. And I'm like, oh, what'd y'all have to eat? And they said sandwiches. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's what I had before I went to bed. I was too lazy to cook. I just made a sandwich.
Made like a grilled cheese?
I think that's what they did. I had turkey and cheese and some mustard, some bread. Oh, God. Y'all, I'm getting on this dark brown or, the stone ground mustard kick.
Like I like that stuff.
Oh, that stuff's good. I'm
It
usually not a fan of mustard at all. Like that cheap yellow mustard, I don't like it. But that stuff with the real mustard in it is really good.
I like Dijon mustard too.
I don't think I've ever tried it, to be honest with you.
It's just mild. It's just not as
intense.
Yeah, like harsh.
Yeah, because yellow mustard is like real vinegary.
Yeah, very harsh. It's pungent. Like but Dijon is a lot more smooth. It's a lot less. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I know it's been all over the place for years. It's just that I've never been a huge fan of mustard, so I never bought any.
You remember those commercials, the Grey Poupon commercials?
Yes.
The guy in the limo that like opens the door and hands you mustard, like.
Pardon me. Do you have any? But Violet, when she was little, she decided she loved mustard. And so I've had to buy it ever since because that's what she wants on her sandwiches. And so it stays in the fridge until and it's so funny because I would make her sandwiches to go to school, for her lunches. And she would come home and look, I was a snob about her clothes when she was little. Very snobby. Say it isn't so, right? And I only bought her Gap, Gymboree, and expensive stuff. But I was a good shopper, and I got it.
Baby Gap's got some cute stuff, though.
Oh God, Baby Gap is amazing. I love that place. So anyhow, I always bought clearance. I always bought stuff that was on sale. I mean, it wasn't like I went stupid crazy over it. But I had a little girl, and I was 40, and she was beautiful, and I had to.
I had a weird thing with baby shoes. I spent way too much on baby shoes. It was like they're never going to wear them.
Yep.
Why did I just drop $50 on this pair of baby Nikes?
Because they were awesome.
My turn to impress.
But so anyhow, I would buy these expensive clothes for her, and every day she'd come home and have mustard stains on her shirts or her pants, and I'm like. Dang it, mustard travels 25 miles to get on you. I didn't even put mustard in your lunch today. Come to find out, they had little packets of mustard at the school, and she would get the packets and try to open them herself, and they'd go everywhere and get on her clothes. Do you know how hard it is to get mustard out of anything?
It's impossible.
You can't.
Yep.
The best you can hope for is that it fades.
Toast. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just keep spraying your screen wash every time you wash it, and they do fade.
Yeah,
over time.
But I'm like, I can't let you wear this to school. People will think I don't take care of you.
Yeah,
because you're wearing stained clothes.
My daughter was sitting right next to me late last night before she went to bed,
and
she's taken. My kids love those little individual servings of the Chef Boyardee pastas. They love those things. Whatever. You know what? It fills them up. And so I'll buy several of them, and she can
Sure.
do it herself now. I help her peel the lid back, and she pops it on, takes it to the microwave, hits 30 seconds. She's feeling just on top of the world. She's just done
Oh,
it
she's
herself,
grown.
right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just get her an apartment. She just needs, But anyhow, she's sitting right next to me on the bar stool next to me, and I said, you're wearing a white shirt, and it's pretty new. And she goes, so. And I said, because you're gonna wear that. I already know. Because I know. And she was like, I'll be careful, Mom. It'll be just fine. So she's sitting right next to me, and she's talking so much she tries to take a bite, and she totally misses her face.
Oh,
I was like, see, man, I told
you.
to put on a dang red shirt. And so anyway, so she's got this splatter of like spaghetti sauce on this new white shirt.
Oh no.
I was like, it is the hex. I said, you cannot eat red pasta sauce and wear white shirts. Or ketchup, anything. You're going to wear it. You're going to miss your face.
Isn't it funny how some kids, because I had one that dirt traveled to get on her too. The oldest one. You couldn't buy her white, light colors, pastels, nothing. It had to always be either black or some dark color that would hide all of the indiscretions. And then I had this other daughter, the middle one. And that girl, she took care of all of her stuff. I don't know what she did at school. I think she might have bought bibs or something. But nothing ever got messed up. Nothing. And I was like, how does this happen? How do you have two kids that are so completely different? But they were, and they still are.
What I used to love as a mom doing weird things when my son was really little, and he would come home from school and all his jeans, I remember treating all those grass stains on his jeans.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love that for some reason, But like he would, from playing on the playground at school or
right.
But he always had grass stains on his knees from like climbing on stuff.
My son used to do the run and skid on his knees.
Yep.
Like, it didn't matter if they were playing ball or, kickball or whatever it was they were playing. He couldn't just touch the base and keep going. He had to slide in there and on his knees.
Yep.
Well, all of his jeans were like threadbare in the knees. And I told him, I said, I can't believe you're doing this. It's 8 pairs of jeans, and every one of them has holes in the knees. And I'm like, I got to buy you all new jeans. No, don't buy me new jeans. These are cool, Mom. Okay. So I didn't. And he wore them the rest of the year, and he thought he was the coolest kid on the planet.
Yeah, well, in the summer, that's air conditioning.
Right. Well, yeah, he was cool till his knees started taking the brunt of it instead of those jeans. So, Terry said he's a dirt magnet. It don't matter what he does.
Me and my
Some
brother
people are
always
just that way.
I have this hilarious picture of my daughter when she probably just turned 3 years old, and we had just had a full day, and her hair was really long and really red. I'll find it and I'll share it with you guys. But I mean, I'm not right now, but I will find it. I think it was my profile picture on Facebook for a little bit, but we had all day out in the backyard, and then we'd gone to the park, and then I think we were trying to plant some plants, and then we went for a long walk like around the street, and she is just wearing a white shirt. It had a little heart on it, little pink skirt. She's got her long flowing red hair and her chubby little 3-year-old cheeks, and she's dirty. Like her face is dirty, her shirt's dirty, and she's got her little pink tennis shoes on, but she stopped in the middle of the sidewalk and she went bing like that. And I snapped this picture, and you can see the dirt on her cheek, you can see the dirt on her white shirt, but she was just like, woo.
And she was posing like she was a supermodel.
Oh man. But it's one of my favorites because it was just so her at the time. Hot mess.
Yeah, they are when they're little like that, aren't they? Look, y'all, this next year, don't be surprised if Mama gets a little emotional.
Uh-oh.
Because I got a senior coming up.
Oh, gosh.
It's going to be hard.
I feel for you.
And I'm trying to prepare. I've done this before. I know it's not the end of the world.
You can do it.
Is she going to go off to college? She's going to go off?
Not far, but yes. She's only going to be about 45 minutes away from us.
What's Murphy going to do having the house to himself?
Same thing he does now, sit in front of the TV with his game thing in his hand. He did that all day today.
Play video games?
Huh?
Eat pizza and play video games like mine?
Pretty much, yeah. That's his thing. But in his defense, and one of the reasons that I allow him to be so into those games is he talks to a lot of his friends that he goes to school with. And I guess that's the new way of playing outside kind of thing, or hanging out with friends. Because, I can't let him get on a bicycle and go down to so-and-so's house.
Yeah. Because
I don't know what's going to happen now.
Oh, my God. Speaking of weird things happening outside. Okay, listen. Okay, we just moved out of our house, right? And we moved here. All right, so we went through the long process of staying in the house for a month after we actually sold it. So we kind of got to know the people that were moving in. We knew their last name. We knew a lot about their family dynamic.
Right.
Anyhow, long story short, right? I'm in the back of, I was cutting fabric and then just checking Facebook, just stopping, taking a little break. Well, the police department from my little town pops up. They're real active on social media, and they constantly post pictures, closed caption footage or pictures of petty criminals, hoping people recognize them and turn their ass in.
Yeah.
And, so they're interesting to follow, but pops up this little 12-year-old boy who is autistic and has certain issues. And I knew who he was because of the people moving into my house, right? Anyhow, pops up that his picture front and center, this 12-year-old boy is missing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the people who just moved into our old house. And Evan walked into the room right then, and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, what happened? And I was like, the little boy, they just moved into our house. He's missing. And apparently he has a pretty severe type of autism where he feels hungry all the time and food driven. He goes out looking for food.
He has Willie Prater syndrome. Prater.
Yeah. And so anyway, he took off. And after they posted his picture, they had people in the chat saying, I saw this kid. He was at this restaurant. This restaurant they were saying they saw him at because he took off on foot. And I happen to know the street that he said that he went from was where his grandmother lives. Anyhow, he took off on foot, went to this certain Mexican restaurant, which is like 6 miles away from where he is, by the highway, by I-10.
My God.
But they found him.
Thank goodness.
At 10:10 this evening, but he had taken off on foot on his own at 6:45.
Oh my God! He had himself a little adventure.
Had dinner at a Mexican restaurant and got spotted by plenty of people, and then they found him somehow. But
I wonder if the Mexican restaurants gave him anything to eat.
It's like, he must have had money on him.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But he could have said, my parents haven't fed me today, and I'm really hungry and nobody's home. Because you know what? People with that syndrome, well, I don't know. Is he verbal?
I don't know. I've never personally met him. I just know who he is.
Because they can be, people with that syndrome can be very sneaky about getting food.
Wow.
Very.
Yeah.
I was just watching a special. I forget where it was, but it was about a young girl who had that. Excuse me. And her parents had to put a door on their kitchen and alarm it to keep her out of the food and to be aware. And if people would leave things like, say, I leave a dish out with something in it on the counter and run to the bathroom, she would scarf it up before they'd get back. And the parents said they have to be super, super careful about leaving things out, or, even if you leave a bag of chips on your chair and walk away from it, she would have it. And she wasn't autistic, but she had cognitive delays. She was cognitively challenged.
I guess I assume autistic, but they were even saying he has special needs, is how they described it.
Right.
And then the police, in the little blurb the police put out, said that he has a special needs syndrome that makes him gravitate to locations that have food.
Right.
So
that's such a sad story, though. Can you imagine feeling hungry all the time and never being able to eat enough to not be hungry?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't even wrap my head around that.
Poor baby. But his parents must have been terrified. And that restaurant where he was, it like literally is right off the interstate. So I don't know how he got there, but if he walked, that's terrifying.
Well, what's terrifying too is, what if he'd have made it to the interstate? Ew, that would have been terrible. Of course, one time when I lived in Lake City, this has nothing to do with children, I have an uncle who used to live way up north, I think in Michigan. And I didn't know he was visiting, but apparently he was, because I was on the school bus. We were driving through on the interstate to get to our bus stop, and I lived in a county school, so everybody rode highways and interstate. And I look over and I see this guy walking down the interstate, and I said to myself, God, that looks like my uncle. Well, I get home, and my parents are frantically looking for my uncle, who happened to drop in that day. And I said, well, I saw somebody that looked like him walking down the interstate.
That's so scary.
And my parents are like, my dad especially, he was like really mad. And I'm like, all I did was see it. Well, why didn't you tell me? Well, I didn't know you were looking for him. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So they went and found him and brought him back to the, apparently what had happened was, he came to visit, and he was a little tipsy, and the longer he stayed, the tipsier he got. And apparently he got mad about something somebody said to him, and he just took off walking.
There you go.
And they found him on the interstate and brought him back to the house to sober him up. I don't understand it, but okay then. I can't imagine ever being so drunk that I just take off walking down the interstate.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It is.
That's a good way to die.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Rumpus, you look tired. Are you tired?
I'm a little bit tired today.
Yeah, you got quiet real quick.
Sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you, ladies.
Oh, don't worry about that. Hey, y'all. Oh, my crypto's down. Ah, come on.
I don't understand crypto.
I can't make any sense out of it myself.
What, you're investing in something that's not existing yet?
Yeah, it
Kinda.
exists. It exists. It's just, I understand a little bit, but you're buying, what you're doing is you're investing in the development of the blockchain.
Gotcha.
And the blockchain is a new way to send and receive and store information on the www they call it decentralized because it's extremely secure. And the blockchain makes it so that there's a bunch of hoops that you have to go through to get to, or there's a bunch of hoops that the thing has to go through to get to the secure spot. The owner of the thing, documents, birth certificates, information, like data, is all on this blockchain. It could be a land contract. It could be anything, insurance information. It could be anything. But it's super, super, super secure because of the way the blockchain works. That is the part I don't understand. I don't understand how the blockchain works. I just know it does.
Oh, you just went like.
Yeah, I had no clue what she just said.
Yeah, I was. You see, way more than I'm thinking. Crypto is like some form of secret, non-money currency.
Well, and what all of these different coins are basically pieces of stock in the development of each. It's like companies getting together to build this blockchain and to do services on this blockchain, this section of the internet. Okay. And so they got this company here, Cardano, and you got the Bitcoin company, and you've got this company and whatever the names are, Stellar Lumens. There's all different names, and they all are doing projects on this blockchain, this section of the internet, for what specific projects to secure information in whatever that particular company specializes in. And that's the easiest way I know to explain it.
That's how Odyssey pays, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Odyssey is also on the blockchain, but we can access it through the internet.
Patrick's got like 5,000 subscribers over there.
Yeah, he's killing it over there.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I moved my stuff over there or copied it all over there, but it's just sitting there doing nothing.
Mine's not doing much.
I didn't do it. I just can't. I don't even have a TikTok yet. I can't do it. My kids are like, get a TikTok. I'm like, no, I don't.
God, TikTok's amazing.
TikTok.
I'm not doing the TikTok thing.
I love TikTok. Let me tell you why.
YouTube's enough.
When I'm bored, TikTok, you can open that thing up and that crap is hilarious. If you're sad, you can open up TikTok and laugh your behind off. I can waste an hour laughing, and it's wonderful.
I don't know. Is it just like a Snapchat thing where like everything is a minute?
No, it's like YouTube Shorts. It's just like YouTube Shorts.
Like everything is like a minute?
Yeah. Well, I think TikTok has gone up to
Shorts. YouTube Shorts was trying to get a piece of that action.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
and
Patrick's got 5,500.
But I'm telling you what, those people
followers
on TikTok, they got that crap down to a science. I'm serious. YouTube is not going to catch up with TikTok. They're not going to compete with them. And I'm sorry, YouTube, but it's true, and you know it. I think that TikTok is a pretty incredible platform for what it does.
But TikTok is like 1 minute, and it stays, like not like Snapchat, where like everything just disappears in 24 hours.
It's not like Snapchat.
I never got in. I never snapped much on Snapchat. I had a Snapchat, and I still have a Snapchat for a while, but I haven't added the app to my phone. But those filters, my daughter and I laughed so hard. We would all laugh so hard at some of those filters.
The filters are great, aren't they?
Hysterical. Some of them were so funny.
My older daughter, when she figured out Snapchat, she would send me pictures of herself and her husband in all of those filters, and they would have me just dying over here.
We were laughing.
Oh, yeah, there's Patrick right there. Okay. I had to look and check it all out. Okay, let me see something real quick.
Yeah, he's sitting on about 5,500 followers.
That's amazing. What's he at on YouTube, though?
He's like maybe 1,400-ish, 1,400.
Oh, that's not bad either.
But he had more than that, but they put him through some big purge.
Oh, no. I've got 16 followers on Odyssey.
Oh, I don't have any.
I got 5.
Do you have 5?
Yeah.
I've had 429 total views on Odyssey.
One of them's me and the other one's the wife. So,
Are you Grumpus? Yeah, your Grumpus on fire over there. Let me go
I
find
don't know who the other 3 are.
Let me go find you. I didn't know you were on there, Grumpus, or I would have.
Well, when you and Patrick was talking about it, I thought, well, shoot, if it don't cost me anything, I'll throw my stuff up there.
I don't understand how it works.
But I still don't understand how it pays or if it pays or what it's all about.
You got mystery money.
I forgot what the name of the currency is.
And now when I add a video to YouTube, it automatically updates Odyssey, so it's not something I have to maintain.
Exactly. There's no effort whatsoever in it.
So
You've had more success on Odyssey than on YouTube, and I've never spent any time there. Isn't that crazy, Patrick? That is just crazy.
Wow. That cinnamon roll video with them for whatever reason promoting that one, like really opening up the floodgates on people seeing that one. That made a huge difference in my, nothing else. And that video was a year old.
Yeah.
But
guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to listen, but I'll be right back.
You get paid for every person that views your video.
Is that what it is?
Mm. So I don't know. I'll be watching your videos. Charlotte, there's a few recipes I need to actually really rewatch. You're getting really close to getting your ads.
Well, Patrick seems to understand a lot more than I do. Every time you leave a comment on somebody else's video, he says.
Oh, here we go.
Crash out.
No, I was going to tell you earlier that I, years ago, probably 3, maybe 4 years ago, I bought some crypto. My daughter was telling me, look, we still lived in Virginia. So it was probably more than 13 years ago when Bitcoin first came out. It was,
I don't know what that is.
Y'all, it was $30 a coin. And Erica said, Mom, let's go in halvesies and buy some. And all it was going to cost was $150 a piece. But we figured out, and back then, internet purchasing was not a huge thing yet. And we were really uncomfortable putting our bank information in an app. It was Coinbase, I think. And we were really uncomfortable with that. And we both decided not to do it. Do you know how much money we would have right now if we'd have went ahead and said, screw it, let them have our bank?
Oh, yeah.
It was $30. It's now, I think, $40,000 per coin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Talk about kicking yourself in the butt.
Yeah.
I remember about 20 years ago, some guys I worked with downtown they were all going in buying Yahoo stock. And I didn't jump on that bandwagon, and look what it's done.
I'll tell you what. I bought a whole bunch of AOL back in the day. And oh my God, I made a crap ton of money off of that. It just kept splitting and splitting and splitting. It would split 3 times a year. 2 for 1, 3 for 1. It was crazy. And I was stupid with it. I held on to it, and I shouldn't have. I mean, I still make money, but not as much as I should have, because I was too afraid to sell it. But just needs more people to be using. I agree, Patrick. I think it's a great platform, and I agree with you. More people need more people. But now, wait a minute. Patrick, you're going to have to teach us how to get the money out of it. Because I got, what it said, my Odyssey says I've got 23.85, whatever I forget what it's called. But only 2.71 is immediately spendable. What does that mean?
I'll be right
I mean,
back.
I don't
Yeah,
get
that's the part I don't understand.
it. Odyssey.
Because I got 15.07 sitting there.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I don't see anything with a dollar sign on it.
Payment. It's called,
Well, that's one.
I'm looking for
One of the things I just leave alone.
the thingamabobbers. How get paid for watching videos for watching? I didn't know you get paid for watch. Shoot, I'll go over there and watch videos. That's what I'll do. I'll go on. I'll get Patrick's playlist. Do you have a playlist on Odyssey? How do I find it, Patrick? Okay, here we go. LBRY. I knew it was something like library.
No, Patrick don't have a playlist.
Oh, well, that's okay. I think if you cash it out, they will pay it straight into your bank account. Now, I did see that. There's a place where you can put your bank information and then they'll just... It's okay. It's okay. It says that you can earn 100 all the way up to 5,000 per month. Wow.
Well, we can do that on YouTube.
Well,
I just haven't put in the work. I haven't put in the work to make that happen.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do is be an Amazon affiliate. And I know I'm not going to get rich doing it, but you know, every $16 counts, right?
Well, I've got mine set up.
I don't know how to do the application process. I sound stupid, don't I?
I can send you the link. It's the associate program, I think. Let me see here.
Okay.
I may not have it set up here. I've got it set up at work.
Okay.
I believe.
But I don't know. It says here, what are Odyssey credits worth? Oh God. Seriously, they're worth 3 cents a piece right now. So, what's 28 times 3? No, what's 28 times 0.03?
There's too many gazentas in my head.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm trying, Patrick. I'm going to start trying like this month. I was supposed to do a whole bunch of videos last week. And I was trying to make enough so that I could have a couple of weeks to kind of make more and stay ahead of the game. But I only made one and I didn't post it yet because I'm waiting on Marcel. It's the meal planning thing. But I think I'm going to start changing gears a little bit. Not drastically changing gears, but I think I'm going to kind of keep it more budget-minded and frugal and, you know, money-saving hacks, that kind of stuff. In kitchen and garden and grocery hauls, maybe. I don't know. Tell people where they can. I ought to do Dollar General hauls because y'all would be a freaking amazed at how much money I save in that store. Amazed. I didn't go today, though. I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah, Dollar General is really, really good. And yeah, I have been.
But prices are going up, and the coupons are going down. Have you noticed that?
Well, I haven't really couponed in a while, but I use my like in-store ones if I'm there.
Oh, I see.
But
see, I just use the digital ones. That's it.
Well,
I go on their app. I click the digital coupons I want to use. I put my number in the thing, and bam! I walk out of there. I spend $10, $12.
Yeah, well, half the time, if I bother to sit and cut coupons, you know who will throw them away before I get the chance to use them.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying nothing. Whew.
Yeah, communication probably isn't our strong point sometimes.
Well, I understand that.
But yeah, no, but the budgeting thing, I need to get back to it. I've kind of slipped away a little bit just because we've been so freaking distracted around here the last week.
Yeah. Well, and buying a new home.
I felt like I had a plunger on my face for about 4 days.
Right.
And I was like, I don't care about planning.
Hey, Christina, how are you?
All right, I put it in private chat for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can buy just about, well, Dollar General. Honestly, the main things that I buy at Dollar General are cleaning things, paper towels, bathroom tissue, Lysol, spray cleaners, bathroom cleaners, that kind of stuff.
Pet food, pet supplies.
Pet food and pet supplies. And also personal care items like shampoos, conditioners, toothpaste. They got a coupon right now for $6 off 4 tubes of toothpaste.
I buy a lot of little seasonal knickknacks at.
And I do too, but they don't usually have coupons for that. So yeah, Mama, I go almost every weekend, and I walk out of there with $25 worth of merchandise for 10 to sometimes as little as 8. My best deal ever was $6.40.
That's awesome. You should definitely post all that.
Right. But usually it's somewhere between $10 and $12.50. And that's including tax.
I know what I'm gonna do. My fireplace, my little fire is still going.
Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that.
Nice.
Is that electric or gas?
No. It's wood burning.
Oh.
I'm cheating tonight. That's actually like a Duraflame type.
Oh, I see.
But you want to do like a fire, you got to sit there and take care of it.
True.
That's the part I like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not taking care of it when it's inside, then it just smokes out the house.
I'll do that, Patrick. I'll do a video tour of the Dollar General.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That'd be a good one for him.
I'm not sure. So, y'all, if I have a coupon on my app, okay, how do I take a picture of that and then put it in my YouTube video so I can show you, like, okay, I'm buying this and this is the coupon for it?
You'd have to snap a picture of it and then edit it in like
do a screenshot or something?
Yeah, you could do a screenshot, and then when you're doing your video on your iPhone, like when you want to put that picture in like to the video, when you're going to hit the plus sign and the picture's going to go in, hit the options. And then you can do it like as a cutaway, as a picture within a picture.
That's kind of what I want to do, is picture in a picture.
Yeah, then you can have that option. Just, how like when you're making your video on your iPhone, you hit that plus button and like you want to put in a still picture or whatever. Right there.
What app are you using?
Well, I only use my iPhone.
Oh, see, I use KineMaster. Hey, Chris. Oh, I already said that. I'm sorry. I use KineMaster, so I'll have to figure it out. I think I can research that on YouTube. There's probably plenty of people that can tell me how to put a picture in a picture.
Yeah, how to do a picture in a picture.
In
that. Yeah, I only just use my iPhone.
I didn't know the iPhone was that easy to.
It's really easy. Trust me. If I'm
put it all together,
it's easy, girl, it's easy. Okay.
Huh.
I just learned how to prune stuff. Okay, now I'm behind the curve.
You're killing me. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I feel like I don't have many things to prune. I wanted to prune my damn trees. I'm going to harm them, so I'm not going to do it.
You see what Patrick put up there? He's going to send me his shopping list. So. so I can purchase stuff for him.
Yeah, and that could be like a challenge, actually.
Your cousin will pay for all of it.
Yeah, we get a challenge, like a coupon for it to get it as cheap as possible.
Right.
That could be hysterical, actually.
Oh, good Lord. I play that game with myself every weekend. Well, and here's the thing. I am so cheap. I'm not cheap when it comes to things that count. But when it comes to things like shampoo, I'm not spending $34 on a bottle of shampoo to rinse down the drain. I'm just not doing it. Now, my daughter thinks that I should buy her salon shampoo, and I told her to get a job.
At a salon.
Right?
Okay, now, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I will spend the money on shampoo. I do think it's worth it, and you do feel a difference in your hair. And
Yes.
I'm not snobby about a lot of stuff. Like, I'm totally not. I buy, generic ingredients. I buy, generic this, that, everything. But sometimes I'll go. My hair, I have a weird thing with hair care products and skincare stuff. I finally found my Olay stuff I love to use.
Oh, good.
Which is good because I've looked like somebody blew air into my face for the last week.
He said he'll get him to send the money in advance. Well, you think I don't trust you, Patrick? I will spend money on, Biolage used to be
that stuff's
a salon shampoo, and I love it. And it smells good.
It does.
And if they have a good deal on it at Walgreens, because sometimes there'll be coupons for it, and then you use your points and pay for it. If I can do that, then I'll buy it.
The Redken products are good too.
Who is?
The Redken product.
Oh, yeah. Redken products are real good. One time I had a conditioner that I absolutely loved, and it was very expensive because years ago, I was not cheap.
Yeah.
I thought money grew on trees. But it smelled like grapefruits. And I loved it. Like, I can't get enough of this stinking conditioner. I could just wear it all day as perfume.
Do you remember that weird scents they came out with in the 1990s at the Gap? Like fresh cut grass and all that? No. They had a bunch of weird ones. And for some reason, I loved the fresh cut grass scent. And you could buy it like a perfume. Like, oh, I smell like a fresh cut lawn. And that was a good idea in the 90s, apparently. Like, it smelled like grass.
Maybe they were trying to keep up with the CK. And Patrick wants to know what beauty products you spend money on, Grumpus. We're not including our gentleman friends, Marcel. We should be ashamed.
Sorry, Grumpus.
I wonder how they made shampoo long ago. Did they wash their hair? Yes, they did. And I'll tell you what they used. They used their lye soap.
And rainwater.
Yeah. This is all natural. Oh my God, y'all. Where did the time go? Hell if I know. I'm already 56. I'm not supposed to be that old. I was just born last week, y'all. I was told, wait a minute. I was told to never use a salon shampoo and conditioner. I think you're going to hear it all. I think
that's probably a salon telling her that.
Maybe. But normally I will buy pretty much whatever's cheap. And I'm not talking like, I will not use Suave. I can't stand it. It makes your hair feel funny. It makes my scalp itch. It's terrible. And you know what? There's another product that does that. It's in the blue bottle, and it's a hairspray. What's in the blue bottle? It's kind of an aqua blue bottle. Oh God, what's the name? Rave? Is that a hairspray?
I don't know.
Rave
Marcel.
was a hairspray.
Was it that I couldn't
Yeah,
use
they
it?
said
Made me itch everywhere. So so I have a few little.
I believe it.
You're what?
Oh no! I said I believe that Rave did.
Oh, I thought you said I'm
Make you
leaving, and
itch
I'm like,
everywhere.
what happened? What happened?
I'm out. Bye.
I'm out. Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, something like I bought some face wash one time, and oh my God, y'all! After 2 days of using it, it looked like I had a sunburn all over my face. I'm like, why did I buy this crap? And apparently, I was extremely sensitive to that. But now I have my
crimper. I still have my crimper from the 80s.
Do you really?
I'm scared to use it, but I have it. Oh,
I'd be scared to use it too. It'd probably burn your hair off.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have those ceramic ones back then.
No, it's metal.
Yep. I had one myself, but my hair was always too thick. Look, if I tried to curl and iron my hair, number one, it's so thick that it would take me 12 hours to get it all done. And number two, I would look like a poodle by the time I was finished. It would be out to here. I had dream hair of the 80s because it was so thick that I could make it as tall as Marge Simpson if I wanted to.
Oh my God. I went and I got my hair cut the other day, and the little girl that cut my hair, she really did a good job. And I brought like thorough pictures of what I wanted done to it. And
right.
Because they always try to give me the Karen. Like they go to the back. I tell them I want like a messy bob. And they go to the back, and they really give me a bob. Like they bust out the I'm like, oh my God, what have you done to me? And like I have all this hair in the front and no hair in the back. It's horrible. But so I'm trying to do this 2000 style hair, right? Where they just kind of do messy layers all over, and it gets, and so I finally found pictures. Anyhow, long story short, so I'm sitting there and she's doing my hair. My hair was down to here, right? It had grown quite a bit, and it was driving me insane. That's why it was pulled back all the time. But she's cutting my hair, right? And she's like, well, yeah, you've got a lot of hair for
what? For what?
Yeah, like, but she stopped right there, and I was like, I got a lot of hair for what? For an old lady?
I'd have punched her in the mouth.
That's time. You just lost your tip, little lady. No, she didn't, because she
kidding.
gave me a good haircut. But you know what? She stopped. She caught it. She caught it. Yeah, you got a lot of hair for.
I lost my crap.
Yeah.
Dwayne, you know what? I'm allergic to some laundry soaps too. In fact, one of the only ones that I can really use is Purex, because I even tried using all free and clear, and it gave me the hives. Gain gives me the hives. Tide gives me the hives. All of the popular brand name ones. The only one that works is Purex. Doesn't give me hives. I don't know what's different. I really don't.
Oh man, getting old is so complicated. Like it is, but it isn't. Like some things have gotten easier, and then other things have just gotten like, I don't know, crazy.
What's complicated?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say was complicated?
Being older.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes some things are easier, but you know, some things are easier. They're just a lot more cut and dry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there's just
sometimes it's a little comical.
Yeah, like the whole "you've got a lot of hair for."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue. I'm interested.
Yeah. What was it? Finish up.
I remember the first time I went to Denny's, they gave me a senior discount. I was insulted.
They gave it to you without asking you for your ID?
It was right there on my check. I said, "What is this?"
Yeah.
I'd have been offended too. Holy crap.
I'm all about the discounts these days. Like, if I am, I'd be like, "Do you give military family discount?" Like,
Oh, we do that all the time.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. And
The
I
only
need
time,
it.
the only time I ask for a senior discount is when I get my hair cut, and then I usually roll that right back into the tip.
Oh, well, now that's a good idea.
So I give them their regular
And see,
tip.
we do that when we go to restaurants too.
Yeah.
And one thing that Wesley, well, no, we don't get the senior discount. We get the military discount, which is the same.
Senior discount at a restaurant. I want
No.
an adult portion.
Well, yeah, because they do. They have a senior menu, don't they?
Like a kid's menu.
Right.
Yeah.
We shop at Lowe's a lot because we don't ever get the runaround about, because he'll show them his ID and say, military discount, please, or whatever, and they just do it. At Home Depot, sometimes you get the runaround. Sometimes they refuse to do it. And other times, it's smooth sailing. So we don't ever know what it's going to be at Home Depot. So anything major that we want to discount on, like appliances or big stuff, we always go to Lowe's for that. And Best Buy doesn't do any military discount here. I don't know about anywhere else, but here they don't. So, and I think it's ridiculous.
Dwayne, so what do you do with your laundry? Are there some natural, alternatives?
He said he uses Tide Free.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Christina wants to know if you've ever had a mullet, Grumpus.
I answered her.
Oh, I was like, that would be a no.
You haven't? Not on purpose?
No.
Yeah, being younger than 80 isn't old. And you're right. I'll tell you what, my dad's 73 and he looks amazing for an old dude. And he doesn't even act that old. So, Tide-free phosphates are the culprit.
Phosphates.
Does it break you out in hives too?
I bet you don't drink much wine either, because there's a lot of phosphates in wine.
Oh, yeah. Y'all, my little boy came home from band practice the other night, and he had a migraine so bad that he was in his bed with his head covered up with a blanket, and he was shaking from his neck to his toes. And we had given him his migraine medicine probably 45 minutes before. And I walked in there and he was still in agony. And I went in the bedroom and I woke Poppy up and I said, "You need to take him to the emergency room. He is in agony." And he told me to get the boy a Benadryl and I forget what else. Maybe Tylenol. But the doctor told us don't give him Tylenol or Motrin because it'll cause a rebound headache. And so we've stopped giving him Motrin, period. And Tylenol only occasionally when something else hurts him, not when he has a headache. But that night I did. I gave him a Tylenol and I gave him a Benadryl. And within about 20 minutes, he started. I don't know if the migraine medicine started working finally or if that helped. But somehow it started going away. And Wesley didn't have to take him to the emergency room, but I was ready to knock him in the head with a frying pan just to knock him out and get him out of his pain.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Breaks my heart to see him like that. And the thing is, these migraines are getting worse.
Unfortunately, you go to the emergency room, you sit there for an hour and a half for anybody to look at you.
Well, and that's
exposed to everything.
What I was worried about was that, it's really bright lights in there. And he would have to sit there with a blanket over his head in agony, sitting in a chair. And I thought, and then there's noise and there's screaming babies and all of that crap. And I'd rather him just be here. But at the same time, I wanted it to stop. Do whatever you got to do, make it stop, you know. So he's going to have to go back to the doctor because this headache medicine that he's taking, it's normal migraine medicine, it's Imitrex, but it's just not. It's not working fast enough like it should. It's supposed to take care of it in 20 minutes. And it's just not. And that poor child was in agony for almost an hour and a half. And it broke my heart. I hate it.
That's so hard to deal with. I had a really good friend that I was roommates with for a little bit. A girlfriend when I was in school. She rented a duplex and I shared it with her for just a little while. And she used to get horrible migraines, and like she would be in her room and she would have these blackout curtains and all this stuff. And she would just be laid out for a while. And I'd be like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "I'm having a migraine." And, you know, I was pretty unfamiliar with them. My family doesn't run in my family. You know, I was unfamiliar with that. But it was horrible for her. And apparently they're just super intense.
Yeah. He knows when he's getting it. And in fact, he also has anti-nausea medicine because they make him sick. Super sick.
Poor baby.
And so we have Zofran to give him if he starts feeling. Thing is, crazy part is, it comes on him really quick. The nausea, and then as soon as he purges it, number one apparently makes the headache a little better.
Bye,
and
Patrick.
Also it's gone immediately. Good night, Patrick. Take care of yourself.
Have a good
We'll
day.
see you again soon. Thank you. But anyhow, as soon as he's finished, the nausea's gone. So it doesn't keep coming back and keep coming back. It's a one-time thing. Excuse me. So I hate giving him medication that, number one, I don't know if it's going to help him. And number two, it's going to be over as soon as he, gets sick. I don't know. I just know I need to get him back to the doctor. And I don't know how long that's going to take, because with this, I don't know. I guess COVID is kind of not as pandemic right now as it was a few weeks ago.
Well, they're getting ready to take it down a level, they said.
Really?
Whatever that level is. Yeah, but then we're getting ready for a war with Russia. So, nonstop.
Aren't we always?
Oh.
See, I haven't been keeping up with the news. I don't know anything about that except for
I don't know what is going on. I just can't.
Another country. Russia wants it. They always want somebody's country. I don't
to worry about. So
always.
I remember taking hide under your desk drills when I was in grade school.
When you were in school, yeah.
Yeah, me too. And that's in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, see, we never did that.
Oh, yeah, we had air raid drills. We hid under your desk, or you had to go in the hall and huddle in a ball and all kinds of. About once a month, you'd have a drill.
Huh. That's crazy.
During the Cold War.
I know my dad did. No, was it him? Yeah. He was in high school in the mid-'60s.
In fact, we had, growing up, we had air raid signals in the neighborhoods. And they would test those horns about once a month. So those horns would light up for about a minute.
You know what, Dwayne? I've heard a story like that before, too. It might have been Canada. I don't know, but I've heard that story before.
Yeah. Dwayne, I knew a kid in my elementary school who had a nut allergy, but they never made us, there was never the peanut-free table or all the things they put the kids through these days. Just that kid knew I can't freaking eat peanuts.
Right.
Yeah. The
Well,
kid was
and
like, I'll die. I mean, then and we were like eating our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and we didn't share. I mean, it was like,
right. Well, and you
I
weren't
don't know.
swapping spit either.
Yeah. But I remember that. And, but my friend was like, I can't eat peanuts. It makes me sick. I'll die.
Yeah.
And that was like in the discussion. I was like, oh, that sucks. Like basically. And then I'd eat mine. But then he ate whatever he ate. And that was the end of it.
Did y'all hear the story about one of these restaurants that you eat peanuts before you go in, Outback or somewhere like that?
Texas Roadhouse.
Was it? Well, yeah, they do that too, don't they? And you would throw them on the floor, I guess, and step all over them. It's supposed to do something to the floor. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody who was allergic to peanuts walked in that place and started having anaphylactic shock from the dust, the peanut dust.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I read that in the paper years ago. I don't know if it's true or not.
Oh, well, I used to hang
We don't know
out
what
at a
they
bar in Corpus Christi, where I'm from. There's a bar called Vernon's, and it's a really old bar, and it's very near the bayfront. And back in the 30s and 40s, it used to be a barbecue restaurant. And in fact, during the day, it still is a barbecue restaurant. Like you can go there and eat barbecue, but at night it's a bar. And they do the thing where they give you the peanuts that you can snack on, and you take the shells and you just throw them on the floor.
That's crazy.
Very old school type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about that.
It's not.
I never heard of anybody dying in that place because of peanut dust.
Right. Dwayne said Bill Gates said that another pandemic will come.
Oh,
shoot,
it'll be created.
He might be funding it. Who knows?
Yeah, well, it might be created somewhere. Do you notice how like the pandemic's gone on and on and on and all that? And like the focus on it being created in Wuhan, China has like completely faded.
Yeah.
It's just taken on like so many twists and turns.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Nobody even talks about that anymore.
It's gone from full hospitals and bodies on the sidewalks to you barely hear about it anymore.
Right.
Except in the political arena.
Right. And I don't know if honestly, I don't know I don't know who to believe. And I don't even care anymore.
It's a real thing. I believe it's a real thing.
Oh, certainly.
Shots for it and stuff, but there was such a newsworthy explosion of information in the beginning that people were just terrified.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's the exact same disease, but everybody just thing.
These mutations
over it
are definitely the same disease. They have components, but it has mutated. And that's actually what viruses do.
Right.
Viruses start off like the Spanish flu.
But it's not getting nearly the news that it got before.
Right. But I don't know.
I was more afraid of running out of food at the grocery store than I was of the illness.
Me too, Grumpus. Now, I will say in the beginning, I was concerned. I wasn't panicked.
I was
definitely.
I took precautions, but
right.
I
wore a mask at the store, even though a mask is futile against a virus because viruses are so small they can penetrate anything fabric, any kind of fabric.
The way I looked at the mask was, it didn't hurt.
No, right.
Whether I wasn't going to get in a debate with anybody if it did any good or not, it's something I could do for myself.
Right. And not only that, but did you notice how many other illnesses went away when people were wearing masks?
And sanitizing more.
Washing their hands.
Washing their hands, sanitizing, wearing a mask.
Most important thing was stuff we should have been doing anyway.
Well, when I used to teach full time, I told my principal, I told him, I said, we need to be sanitizing the schools. Like, the teachers need to be sanitizing their desks every day at the end, because the custodians would come in and sweep and do all this stuff, but nobody was like cleaning. And I was like, we could stop the strep outbreaks. We could stop the flu. We could cut it down a little bit. Let's just clean the desk. Give away pencils. Don't ask for the pencils back. Just give them away.
Just give them. Yeah.
Just keep them.
Because them nasty little kids will put them in their mouth and up their nose.
They do, and then they're germy, and they do all the things. And but they didn't. When I taught full time, I sanitized my classroom every single day, and I used to get made fun of for that.
I bet you didn't bring home all them germs either.
You're a germaphobe. I still got sick. I still caught it. You couldn't help it.
Well, I'll tell you this. After having 7 kids who have gone through the public school system in the US of A, it's a miracle that I'm not immune to every single freaking germ on this planet. But I'm not.
Well, my kids being daycare babies to some degree. My daughter, not so much. My daughter wasn't a daycare baby until she got a little older. We put her in preschool.
Right.
But my son was a daycare baby because I was still practicing at that time. And he went to daycare at 9 weeks, which was heartbreaking.
Oh.
9 weeks. And he caught every stomach bug, everything he could possibly catch, he caught in daycare. And so by the time he actually got to elementary school, he was bulletproof. He was like,
right.
He never got sick. And but his immune system was so built up.
Yeah, from being exposed, eating dirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
I tell my kids all the time when I'm hanging out with the grandbabies, and Erica will say, get that dirt out of your hand, Oliver, because Oliver's he'll be 2 in July. He's gonna eat dirt. He's a baby. That's what they do. And I told her, I said, he's got to eat at least 5 pounds of dirt so he can grow up.
Yeah. It's nutrients.
Everything goes in her mouth.
Everything. And but I'll tell you what, he's giving her a run for her money. He is something else.
Is he a binky?
Yeah, Dwayne. I read that comment that Dwayne put up there about seeing masks laying in the streets. That's disgusting.
Oh,
There's an pandemic going around. People are sick and breathing all over them.
You see that here too in my little town.
Yeah.
The disposable mask is thrown
here
in
too.
In
the parking lot at Walmart.
They put them on, go in the store, and they rip them off as they leave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Insane. I'm like, have you ever heard of a trash can?
These are the same people that empty their ashtrays on the parking lot.
They're the same people that leave baby diapers in the freaking parking lot. Yeah.
I've seen that too. That's gross. Oh gosh. I've heard of healthy people getting the what and they succumb to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Dwayne, I know two. I have 2 personal friends, people I know who suddenly died of complications after contracting it.
Well, it kind of makes me feel lucky to be alive.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
It is. It's very shocking. But you never know how a body's going to react. And it wasn't the virus per se that was killing all those people. It was something called a cytokine storm.
It's an
immune reaction to an invader. And what your body does is overreacts to it. And it starts shutting down organs. It's your own immune system attacking your organs to try to get rid of the virus. And that's what was causing people to die. Because once that starts, there's no stopping it. It's like a wildfire.
Yeah.
It's like being septic almost, but different mechanism. But sepsis is the same thing. It's hard to recover from sepsis.
Terrifying.
But I sound like a doctor, don't I?
Well, but you do. And I just remember when the pandemic started, and did you see the footage of that Italian actor that was trapped in his apartment and his sister had died, and she was in the bed, and he was going on in Italian and saying that the Italian government wouldn't come, and he was begging for them to come and take his sister. She needed help, but she was deceased, and he
Oh my God.
had his camera, and this was when it was really bad in Italy in the beginning, and there was like, they had shut down Rome, they shut down everything, like they were like under serious, like nobody could leave their apartment and all this stuff. Well, his sister died, and he was calling for help, like to come have her removed, to come have her taken to be dealt with, and
Oh,
properly and everything, and nobody would come, and she literally stayed in bed where she died for, like, I want to say it was something really crazy, like a week. And
oh no.
and he went on live and talking in Italian, and it was being translated below, and saying, my sister, she died, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And I remember watching that, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, it
Oh
was
my God.
terrifying. Like,
I didn't see that.
is this coming here this way? And then the
Right.
homeschooling, like, I posted the video about us going to visit NASA, and then like nobody went back to school, and then that went on for like a year. I mean, it's hard to even think now, to remember like how surreal that all was. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I remember in the very beginning being
not going to
petrified to see my
year, not going to see everybody, not going to see my mom for a year.
Right.
I
had to postpone. I still haven't been able to go visit my parents. Now, I did see them last August when we had Violet's birthday party, because they came to the party. But at that point, they were both vaccinated, and they said they would come. And, but I want to go there. And one of the main reasons I want to go to them is because it's 22 acres with a pond, and it's peace, and it's quiet, and it's beautiful, and I just love to be there.
they're in Florida.
No, they're actually in South Georgia near.
Oh, I'm sorry. You've told me that like 3 times.
Yeah, the closest town is probably Macon. They're between Macon and Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, it's beautiful there. It's hot, but you don't have to go in the summer. It's no hotter than Mississippi. I don't think there's any.
Would they pass that place on to y'all?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't know.
Would you want
I
it?
don't. Yes, but I probably wouldn't use it. So no. I mean, in it, you will be so surprised how pinned down you get by grandchildren.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the grandkids,
that's the truth.
If I didn't have Millie and Oliver here, yes, I would have in a New York minute utilized that property. It is amazing up there. I love it. And it's not even in the mountains. It's South Georgia. It's flat land. It's hot and steamy, but my God, it is gorgeous. And my dad does a lot of, he's owned the property probably over 10 years, even before there was a home on it. And he planted things here and there, and he's built structures, and he's got it looking like a paradise. There's roses, there's a garden, and that's right up my alley, So, but he's more of a landscaper than he is a vegetable gardener. I never will forget last summer. I called him, and he was outside. He said, "I'm glad you called. I needed a break." And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm planting a bunch of flowers in the middle of he had tilled up about a 8-foot circle in the middle of the yard and was going to plant a bunch of flowers in there. And he told me what they were. And I said, Dad, that's alyssum. That's not going to grow tall at all. It's just going to be a ground cover. And I said, it kind of looks like weeds. You know, when it gets overgrown, it's weedy. It's woody too. And I said, you probably ought to put, well, he did. He put some sunflowers throughout it. And he was going to have the alyssum as the ground cover. I talked to him at the end of the summer last year. He says, you know, I thought that alyssum was going to be that. Or, well, he didn't call it alyssum because he didn't know the name of it. But he said, that flower I told you I was planting in that circle. He said, I was looking at that stuff and thought, what are all them weeds doing in my garden? I said, I tried to warn you. I said, if you want to put something out there for a ground cover, use like Corsican mint or sedum or something. Juniper, for God's sake. Put something that'll love it out there.
I'll be right back.
You're right, Dwayne. You can't beat the country. And one of these days, that's where I hope to be. It's probably not going to happen that way, but.
Yeah, I remember one year I'd fluffed up all the flower beds. This is when I was with my ex.
Mm-hmm.
I fluffed up all the flower beds and got them all ready to go in the spring and told her just, you know, usually that was the end of it for me. I'd let the wife just plant whatever she wanted. Mm-hmm. And she'd gotten a bag of wildflowers from some charity thing that was peddling this stuff to raise money. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it, but she'd planted all that stuff in all them flower beds, and it was nothing but a weedy mess. I told her, I said, that's the shit.
How long did it take you to get rid of them?
I said, that's the shit that they're mowing at the side of the highway.
Exactly. Black-eyed Susans. And...
you know, Indian paintbrush and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It took me 2 years to get that stuff killed off and finally dug up out of them beds. I said, never again. I look at every seed that goes in them now.
Do you know what I got? Some pink sunflowers, believe it or not. And I'm very excited. They have some creamy yellow on them, but they have some pink in them too. Mm-hmm. And I got some red sunflowers and I got my normal yellow sunflowers. But my son wants me to grow some mammoth, you know, the kind you can harvest the seeds out of.
Right.
I'm going to try it. I've grown them before. It's just this yard, it might be a little difficult because sun issue. And, excuse me. But I got those and I got the daylilies and I love zinnias. I love them. They're the happiest flower ever made. And I've got tons of them.
Well,
I'm real excited.
All of my flower beds are raised.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've got them fluffed up pretty good, about probably a good foot to 18 inches.
Ooh, nice.
Anything I plant in them that's tall, I have a hard time keeping it up. I've done sunflowers. We did gladiolas last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, those things get about 4 feet high and then they just fall over.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, the great thing about those mammoth sunflowers is the stalks are like this big around.
Right.
They get huge.
And the roots get huge.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they still tip over.
They do. And especially if you get a squirrel up there playing in it, trying to eat the seeds, and it goes,
right. And I hate to have a yard full of strings and tomato cages and all these trellises, all this wire stuff trying to hold everything up. It just ruins the whole look I was trying to get to start with.
I don't mind a trellis if I don't want them everywhere, but I don't mind having them for, like I've got a rose bush out there that we're going to build a trellis for it, but it's for that rose bush so that it can cover it eventually and hide it.
Well, that's why I built the pergola in the fall. So she wants to plant honeysuckle, I think, and let it take over that thing.
Oh, that's
so I built it sturdy enough that it'll hold all that mess up. But I don't have any flower beds against the fences or anything like that. Everything's in the middle of the yard.
Right. And
So
see,
I
that's the
can't
way mine
really
is.
pin anything to a fence to keep it to fall over.
Right. The only thing I have is that one bean trellis, but it didn't work for beans last year. They didn't grow for crap.
I didn't get anything last year. It was a waste of time.
It was complete waste of time. And I really hope this year's better. That's not
It
true.
almost has to be.
I got great squash last year. And I got a lot of it. And I was happy. And then hell broke loose.
I bet I got less than a dozen peppers.
Oh my God.
You know, jalapenos and serranos. I probably had less. Oh, maybe a good handful. And they were small. And
my little Tabascos were only that big. They were terrible. I mean, they worked. They were hot peppers.
Yeah, but it was just a tough year last year.
Yeah, it was terrible. Now I will say my pepper plants were not super healthy last year. You could tell they were
Struggling.
They were. But I did get some peppers off of the smaller fruited peppers. The larger fruited peppers, I got maybe 4 off of 9 bushes. And I was disgusted. But it is what it is.
Even
I'm hoping
my
that this year.
even my green onions didn't grow.
Look, I got a mutant green onion out there.
And I tell you what, the only thing that did good last year was my basil.
Huh. See, now mine didn't.
I don't know if it's the variety that I planted, but
maybe. I've got a really cool variety here called globe basil.
Yep, I've seen that.
Grows in a mounded bush. And I'm very excited about growing that one this year. I don't know if it tastes the same. I'm hoping it does.
The stuff that I planted was almost purplish.
Really?
Yeah. And it didn't grow well.
Nice. Oh my God. Dwayne, here we are talking about our weather, Grumpus. And Dwayne said last year they had a severe drought. I could have used some drought.
Yeah. Our stuff,
I bet we got 125 inches of rain last year.
Our stuff rotted in the ground, Drain.
Yeah, it did. It was, and fungus and disease and pests. It was just terrible.
Oh, well, I'm just a terribly distracted gardener, and I killed everything I planted because I forgot about it. So.
Well, that's a problem.
There's no confession. I'm so sorry, zucchini plants and yellow bell peppers that started to grow, and I'm a bad mom.
Well, the great thing about zucchini, Marcel, especially zucchini, you can plant that stuff and 40 days later you've got fruit. So it's instant gratification.
Just keep coming.
They never stop. It's crazy.
Let me ask you guys, what I would like to grow, one of the things I would like to grow was I would like to grow a legit herb garden. Like I go outside and I need a stip of basil and come in.
Right. That's really cool. I do that.
Yeah. How do I do that?
I love it.
And not kill it.
Well, the only thing that go ahead, Grumpus, you tell her.
No, I usually plant rosemary. Rosemary's an evergreen.
Yeah.
And it's very drought tolerant.
Like a pine tree.
Yeah, it's drought tolerant. So plant a big enough bush that you can go out there and start trimming it without worrying about killing it.
Right. Or running out before it grows.
Yeah. Running out. And then basil's pretty easy to plant.
And it's a fast grower.
It does pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So you see these people that have these pots full of a basil plant. So do they take several small plants and put them in one big pot?
Yes.
Because
most of the time
do to get that big prolific.
I'll tell you the last 2 years I bought basil at HEB in the bag with the roots and planted that.
Really?
Yeah.
But do you buy several of those small plants and put them in one big pot?
Well, I've got them in a flower bed. But yeah, you can plant multiple stems in a pot.
My suggestion is to get a big enough pot. You know how you see, excuse me, these Pinterest pictures with all these cute little herb gardens in the house, and they've got them in little mason jars this big? That's not going to grow your basil, okay?
Well,
Or any
that's
herb
what
for
I've
that
tried
matter.
to do, and they die.
You need a big enough pot. I put my basil in a pot probably close to 20 gallons, 15 to 20 gallons. And I'll put 3 plants in there. And by the end of this summer, it's almost as tall as me and this big around. I can wrap my arms around it.
And you just use like a bag of potting soil?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I use like a 10-10-10 fertilizer about once every 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And I just throw it in there, scratch it in the dirt, and it's done. Water it. Done. It's super, or you could use fish fertilizer. I like using that a lot. It's you buy it at the store. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I treat my oregano just like, or my basil just like I do a coleus. I just pinch out of the middle of it, and it'll rebranch out.
Yeah.
And it keeps it short and compact, so it doesn't get too leggy.
Oh yeah.
You have it in beds, you said?
I've got mine in just the beds, yeah.
How do you protect it when it does freeze?
Well, I hopefully by the time it freezes, I've eaten it all up by then.
Yeah. Well, and it's not a good. It's not a perennial, and it's also it doesn't grow in the cool weather.
Yeah.
What I do, as soon as it starts to cool off, your basil's going to die off. What I do is I plant cilantro, and I have cilantro all winter long, and then it's basil season again.
Is cilantro an evergreen? Is it constant all the time?
No, as soon as it gets too hot, it's going to bolt, go to seed, or die.
When it gets too hot?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It does not like hot temperatures at all. It doesn't even really like warm temperatures.
Cilantro?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a little
so considering where it's from. Yeah. But truly, it's a cool weather plant.
And rosemary.
So if you're going to grow cilantro, you need like a greenhouse?
I'm sorry, what?
If you're going to grow cilantro, you need like a greenhouse, or you need to keep it in the shade, or?
You can if it starts to warm up.
Well, like
it might prolong its life a little longer.
Like it gets like scorching here.
Right. Well, you would grow it in the wintertime. You'd grow it from like October to now. And if you want to save it, and it still tastes fresh, because dried cilantro doesn't have any flavor.
Yeah.
Not really. So what I do is I take all the leaves off, and I put them in ice cubes, and I pour water all over it, and I stick it in the freezer.
Oh.
So when I need to use cilantro, I just defrost. Well, I take a couple ice cubes and throw it in the pot. Of course, it doesn't like to be cooked either. So
all the cilantro we buy all year round at the grocery store, is the majority of that grown like in a greenhouse type environment?
Probably
environment.
Hydroponic.
Yeah, probably.
But where I'm at, I can buy cilantro for in the summertime. I can buy that stuff for like $1 a bunch or 50 cents.
Right, here too.
To me, it's not worth the trouble trying to grow it.
Right.
And then rosemary, on the other hand, it's very dry. You can plant it and forget it almost.
You can beat that stuff to death, and it'll still come back.
That stuff will grow through the sidewalk cracks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I grow. I've got some how do you say that, marjoram out there, and I don't even know what to use it for. I've got oregano, and it will take over your whole yard if you let it.
Fresh oregano is nice to have.
It is nice. I have thyme out there.
I love French thyme. Yeah.
And those are perennial plants. They come back every year. Even if the winter kills them off, they still come back in the spring. Mint, but you got to be careful with mint. It'll take over your whole yard too. Take over your whole garden.
Really?
True.
We've got
so I grow mint in a pot, great big pot.
We've got wild grapes that grow up our front gate.
Oh, cool. Are they
Yeah.
muscadine grapes?
I think they are. They're like a real dark purple.
Oh no, those aren't muscadines.
Oh,
Do they have
what
like
color is a muscadine?
they have like a chalky film on them?
Yes.
Yeah. I forget what those are called. We had those growing up. When I
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
they're
Are they
wild
any
grapes,
good?
and they grow all over.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got a bunch of overgrowth at our front gate, and it was just
My
oodles
mom,
and oodles of these wild
out
grapes.
every year.
But yeah, if you want an easy garden, grow some herbs. Just make sure you have a big enough spot for them.
Not cilantro, but we
No,
love
don't grow cilantro in the summer.
Oh, but we love cilantro.
I do too.
And
And
I like
you
I
grow.
like Italian parsley too. I really like Italian parsley.
Oh yeah. Now, I believe that comes back too. I believe that's a perennial. I believe it's either perennial or biennial. Because I had some for a while in a pot. I had it in a pot because it'll take over too. And mine was huge. I mean, it was huge, crazy huge. But yeah, grow a bunch of herbs and grow yourself some zucchini squash. Because that is it's an instant gratification. And grow yourself a little cherry tomato that takes 60
I
days.
want to grow tomatoes. I actually love tomatoes. I like the big chunky tomatoes though. I'm not a huge on cherry tomatoes. I don't know why. I have a weird cherry tomato thing, but I love like a nice fresh ripe tomato. Like a tomato.
I think the most important thing is for you to understand where your sun's hitting during the day.
Yes.
And then you can plant accordingly. You might want to plant some things where it gets morning sun, some things that get evening sun.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my yard, that 3-4 o'clock sun in the afternoon just cooks everything.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the back of my house gets all the sun in the middle of the day. The sunrise happens in the front of my house. And then
so your backyard's gonna be hot.
The evening sunset, all that happens in the rear of my house.
Right. That's the way mine is too. But those trees that are along that fence line and behind my house that I complain about all the time, they really do save my garden from getting too overheated, because by 3 o'clock, maybe 4, my whole garden's almost shaded. Dappled shade, but it's still mostly shade. So, but I get sun from about 8:30 in the middle of the summer, peak season. I get sun from about 8:30 in the morning until about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's cool.
Maybe 9.
I would like to plant some pine trees too. I want to plant some pines out here.
For what?
I don't know. I just love them.
They're lightning rods.
You just have to cut them down in 40 years.
I wouldn't plant a pine tree with somebody else's money, or a crepe myrtle for that matter.
I'd stick me some fruit trees along that fence.
Yes, I would.
Well, I've
little dwarf apricot.
This soil, guys. When y'all come see me, and I am going to invite y'all this summer, and I hope you come. I hope y'all can come, but you'll see what I mean. This soil we have here, it is sand. It's like being on the beach. It's no lie.
Have you met many of your neighbors or people in your area that could tell you what they're growing?
I had a friend of mine. He is actually one of the oldest homesteads on this street, and he's about my age-ish, a little older. And he lives on 30 acres, one lot over from me, 30-acre farm that his parents established a long time ago. They have longhorns and all the stuff. They got all the things going on.
You can get cow manure from him.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I could. But he tells me that he has tried on the back end of his property to plant fruit trees and everything else, and he couldn't get them to thrive. But I actually watched a live stream from
I'll be back.
Yogi Hollow Farm, where she was saying you need to check the pH of your soil and know what you're planting, and then you can like add this or that and adjust the pH of your soil to get things to grow.
Right.
Depending on where you are. And that probably has a lot to do with it, because there's no reason where we are why fruit trees couldn't thrive, but you probably need to do that little bit of science.
Yeah, you might need to amend it a little bit to get it kick-started.
Yeah.
But a lot of
So
gardening is trial and error, especially in our climate. A lot of it's trial and error. And if you could hook up with somebody that's done a lot of error already,
Right.
it might be cheaper.
Well, listen, if you can meet my neighbor Butch, the one I'm talking about, God bless him. I think he's a fine human being, but he's very, very much invested in his rural living. And we regularly hear him shooting back there on his 30 acres, and he's yelling things like "Yeehaw!" Woo! He yells at his cattle. He talks to them like he's scolding small children. Yeah, this is my neighbor we're talking about. Okay, no, he's not gonna. I don't think he's probably not invested in like a soil testing kit. But
maybe his yard's full of lead.
Yeah, I'm saying. No, I don't think he's sent off for a pH testing kit for his soil. I don't think he gives a shit. But
I don't think you need that really, to be honest with you, because most soil in the South is acidic soil.
Get a good tiller and just get you some potting soil and grind it in.
Grind it in and get some cow poop from your neighbor.
It'll grow on my property because it's like the freaking Sahara out here, okay? With ginormous oak trees.
But see, that's why you need the this potting soil. It will, and maybe some. No. How big is your garden space going to be? Do you know yet?
No.
Okay.
It's going to be in the back.
Okay.
We know that. And there's going to be loads of sun because we don't have a lot of coverage from trees on our particular, like around our house.
Farmers planting full sun all the time.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I mean, look at a cornfield. Isn't there no trees there? Watermelon field, soybean,
beans, all that kind of stuff.
Cotton, anything. It could grow. Now,
Dwayne says 30 acres is small. I'm from a 780
Holy crap, Dwayne.
No, you've told us that before, and that's amazing. I mean, truly, we went and stayed at a dude ranch that had 785 acres 2 years ago. And that was amazing. I mean, it was like endless horse riding and everything. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Dwayne said steer manure is very good fertilizer. It is. It's probably the best other than rabbit food.
Is a lot to maintain.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot.
We've got 4.5 acres and we don't even know what we're going to do with it yet. We're just happy to have it.
Just make it pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Make it work for you. When you get your chickens, and this is something I'm thinking of, well, I can't yet because I have raised beds now, but if I were planting in the ground, and this is what I told my daughter to do because she's planting all of her stuff in the ground. My daughter has tilled up half of her backyard.
Good for her. That's a lot of work.
It is, but it's maybe not half. A really long and wide portion of it, okay? Whole lot more than she can handle. But what I told her, I said, what you need to do is fence off some chickens over one of those beds and only use this bed this year. And then next year, you need to flip them. And you will have the best soil in the city of Long Beach. because chicken manure is amazing too for soil. Because not only when you have chickens, you don't just have the manure, you have the shavings, the wood shavings that they live in. They scratch through that all the time. And what they do is they end up turning all of that into soil. And I shovel mine out about every 3 months, and it's just as black as dirt. And I let it sit for a couple of months. In fact, what we did just back in October, we cleaned out the chicken coop and we covered all of the garden beds with that chicken manure, and we just let them sit all winter long. They've had mulch over them. I stirred it in a little bit, and kind of turned the soil over a little bit. But that much of my soil, 6 or 8 inches, is good soil this year. And I'm excited. The King Ranch. What is the King Ranch?
825,000 acres.
Yep.
Wow. That's a lot.
Can't even imagine. That's real close to where I grew up in Corpus.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
The King Ranch. I guess their name is King.
Yes.
It's been our family since 1800s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Moses. Boy, that was cheap land back then.
Probably stole it from the Indians.
Probably.
I'm sure they did.
Probably. Can I steal some land from somebody? I'll be a land rustler.
It says the King Ranch was established by Richard King, a steamboat captain born in 1825 in Orange County, New York. Damn Yankees.
I know, right? They come down here and take over.
I'm just kidding. What is the largest private ranch in Texas? More than 60 years later, the Wagoner Ranch is still Texas's largest piece of privately owned land, with 524,000 acres spread across over 6 counties, all of it bordered by a single fence. But let's see. The largest ranch in the United States composed of a group of 4 tracts of land in southeastern Texas, totaling approximately 825,000 acres. The King Ranch was established by Richard King. Let's see. Well, maybe that's changed. Maybe that's an old. King purchased a part of a 7. Well, now we're getting into like a history lesson here, but the ranch. I don't even know. I'd like to visit.
Can you imagine having that much land? I guess they just raise cattle on it.
A lot. I'm sure a shit ton of cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll have to go. That's close to where I'm from.
I don't know if I'd want to be responsible for that many animals.
Well, I think they've got don't they have a dude ranch on there also?
Oh, wow.
But when you own property like that and you have that many acres, even if you had 25, 30 acres, you lease it out and you fence it off, and you could be like, well, you can bring your cattle over here and they can do whatever they do for a week and and you take that rent money, You make money off your land in other ways.
Oh, yeah. You own that much property. You own people to take care of it.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch. Own?
Well, you know what I mean.
This
is South. We are in the South, right?
You're terrible. Oh, my. Oh, my. Well, I know those... some of those people who take care of land out west, and I call Texas out west because I've never been there.
It's west of you.
I don't think they take. I don't think they make a lot of money. Most of them, the ones that know a lot, probably do. But just the hands, the farm hands, I don't think they make a lot of money. You could also rent out the land. My late mom's cousin does that with his 5,000 acres. I am so jealous right now. I shouldn't be.
No, I'm not jealous. I don't have to pay taxes on that.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm.
God, I
My
wish I had
cousin-
money to pay taxes on.
One of my first cousin lives on a 1,500 acre ranch.
Wow.
That he married into the family that has this ranch. And but they have a beautiful house, like backs up to this huge stock pond and all this stuff.
Oh.
Like, you know, my cousin's name, his nickname is Bud. But yeah, he married into this family and they have this huge ranch, and the whole family lives on the ranch. But
Wow.
they're all
Like a
separated
compound.
around, yeah, exactly. But they're all separated out around the property. But the
Mhm.
property is their life.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I wish I had known when I was younger that that's who I was. I was the person who wanted the land and the simple life.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I knew how to garden until I was 30. And back then it was just flowers.
I would have never known that I wanted to be in the country because we never went camping. We never did anything like that. My mom was totally intolerant of anything like that. I never had any experiences, outdoorsy experiences, anything like that until I got to be much older. No. Oh, no.
I lived in the country as a kid, not on a lot of land, but I lived in a subdivision in the country.
Yeah.
We had a chicken farm behind us, a poultry house. Boy, when the wind blew the wrong way, it was bad. But it was a beautiful home. We lived and it had quite a lot of land. The lot was quite large. I'd say close to an acre. But, that's a big yard.
Yeah.
And there were not very many houses in the community, so it was just a really nice place to grow up. But around us was nothing but country. I mean, there wasn't another house for miles. And there was a little store at the end of the road, and then there was a hotel a little farther down. But so I did live in the country, and we'd shoot at stuff in the backyard. It was typical Southern upbringing.
Yeah. But no, the way I grew up, I never tent camped. I never did anything like that. We never did. My mom was completely intolerant of any kind of country excursions, anything like that. I never had any of those type of experiences until I got much, much older. I was very cityfied. Very cityfied. And so when I got to the point where I started having my own experiences and going out into the country and really having those, no, the only country experiences I ever had was when we would go see my grandma, and my grandma lived on some acreage in a Bastrop, which is an area that's covered with like tall pines, and it's really a beautiful area of Texas, in central Texas. And it was heavily destroyed a couple of years ago with some wildfires. The big, huge loblolly pines and stuff I love so much. But I just remember my brother and my grandma lived in a mobile home on some acreage in Bandera. I'm sorry, not Bandera, in a Bastrop, and she had a little pond on her property, and we would go, and she wouldn't let us swim in the pond. She would tell us it was stagnant. We couldn't swim in it, but we could look at it. It was like, that's fun. But
were there fish in it?
And then we just enjoyed collecting all the pine cones. Like we would literally run and like hold our shirts and like collect all the pine cones. And I remember my mom would be like, "You're not bringing those in the car, drop them." And we'd be like,
"Oh man!"
My mom is a city girl, okay? And
Funny.
so anyhow, yeah, never had any of those experiences. Never tent camped anything until I was like really drunk with like college friends. Like that was my first experience with like tent camping. I was like, I'm glad I'm wasted because I'm freaking terrified. Okay, something's gonna fall through here and kill us all. And
That's funny.
yeah,
I don't tent camp.
but I love the country now.
I mean, I have, but I do not enjoy it even a little bit. In fact, when Murphy was in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, his dad and him used to go camping together all the time. At least 5 or 6 times a year. To me, that's all the time. And they would say, he would say, Mom, why don't you come with us? I'm like, I'm not coming unless there's an air conditioner and a memory foam mattress.
Yeah, I have all that now. I don't do tent camping now. There better be a cabin with some air conditioning.
And he looked at me and he said, that's not camping. I'm like, exactly. I'm not doing that.
But then that. You'll never get me off the ground.
Well, years ago, I spent, a couple of years tent camping and doing all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot of work.
It is.
Getting all that stuff ready to go and packing a car and going
cooking all the time
in the woods. You spend the first 2 hours you're there, you're setting up.
Right.
Just so you can spend the night and tear it all down the next day, and it just it's more work than I wanted to do. I haven't done it in a long time.
You better find me a cabin or a
I wouldn't even mind an RV. You could.
Not happening.
I would love to have an
RV. I want to park it, plug it in.
That's right.
Get it and sit in my chair.
No,
that's right.
I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody.
That's right.
Nope. And I wouldn't mind sitting outside. That would be nice. And I'd like to watch Poppy grilling and cleaning everything up.
The last time we went camping, we just took the tent and we set up just day camping, and I videoed it. Like, it's actually a video on my YouTube channel of this nightmare of a thing. And we set up the tent, we did all this stuff, and then like suddenly we were like trying to pack up and just do this day camping thing, and then like this horrible storm set on, and like and like the wind was whipping, and like Evan was getting all mad trying to like break it down, and we like, ended up just taking the tent, like stuffing it into a thing, and it was not good. And then we were trying to drive, and I was like, whoa, that was fun. Like trying to take it down a notch for the camera.
You're like, where was that fun?
Like, like he was like literally like trying to just throw stuff. But we laugh about it now. But yeah, that's
good memories,
on my YouTube channel somewhere. And we're like driving, and it looks all peaceful. We're like, oh, well, that was a fun day. And we just going through like, oh my God, get the tent! Holy crap! It's like coming down. Like you watch these videos, and I don't know how you are, like, but like you see like the before, like what's happened before, like you make these videos, and you're just like, oh my God, like the memories.
No, if I check that box off. I don't have to do that no more.
Right. Yeah, my idea of camping is room service.
Yeah, thank you. Oh. Yeah, well, I like cabins. I'll go to a cabin. I love it. Like the old, especially the older, the better. The more rustic, the better. I think they're wonderful, but I just need an enclosure that
safe from the bears.
And it's all good. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I'm not afraid of a lot of things, but I am petrified of bears.
Listen, oh my God, now that you brought it up, this is like, okay, there is a Facebook group for our unincorporated part of this county, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying, no shit, like I just read this, that there are black bears and brown bears in our area because they migrated down from North Texas because of all the because people encroaching on their territory. And so they've migrated down here, and people have pictures to prove it. Like, here's this black bear looking over our fence. And so where I'm at right now is like prime because we're
God.
super rural. The bears are here.
Well, I've heard black bear's pretty tasty.
Well, then they said, like, since I joined this group, they're like, small mountain lion spotted on my property on Knockinot Road. Protect your animals. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm not going to leave my Jack Russell out. Crazy.
I think all we have are coyotes that I'm aware of.
No.
We do have coyotes.
So, no. There are mountain lions around here. And when I used to live in Bandera years and years ago with my son's father, my ex-husband, they live on 23 acres in rural Bandera County, which is like Texas hill country. It's very rocky terrain and everything. There was a person next to us that actually farmed llamas. And I would actually have my son, and we'd walk up the paved road, and he was 2, and he'd be in the little stroller and walk up there, and the llama would be like he wanted to stand. I was like, you're cute, but you're terrifying. And, he's like, I don't know if I want to be here. And so anyway, we'd like turn around and go back, and it was like, don't spin me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And but anyway, several of their llamas started getting killed because there was a mountain lion in the area.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And they were like, protect your animals. And I was like,
one animal that I would love to raise if I was younger.
Nobody's going outside ever again.
Right. Is an alpaca. I don't care for llamas because they spit at you. And so do alpacas. But
no, that one, he'd be like he was building up. We're back.
I love, oh my God. Have you ever felt the fur on an alpaca? Oh my God, they're amazing. But then I'm a yarn addict, so I feel an alpaca and I see a sweater. So I don't know how to spin yarn, but that's something I never learned to do. Probably not a hobby I would enjoy. You have to be still for too long. But yeah. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna go to bed. It's like 3:30 in the morning.
I was just saying, I was about ready to call it quits myself.
I gotta call
I'm there. I'm there.
Feel myself fading.
Me too. And I don't fade that easily usually.
Who's left in the chat? Just Dwayne?
I think just Dwayne. Well, no, it says 5.
Well, 3 of us are on screen, so we're missing somebody.
Yeah, we are. But that's okay. Dwayne, thank you so much for coming tonight. I know it was unexpected, but I enjoyed it a whole lot. And you too as well. Thank you very much. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Always do. But have a good night.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were on last night or not. I didn't even turn my computer on all evening.
No, I just wasn't feeling it last night.
We were looking for you, Grumpus.
Especially after my meltdown and my redneck scene.
You were looking for me last night?
We were looking for you. I was over at Rob, Mr. Homeowner, went live.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, I never know when he's going to go. He just kind of randomly pops up.
Well, it's been real random with him. They've been having a lot of. Well, I don't even know what's going on with all that.
Yeah, there've been issues there at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a shame. All right, guys. See you later.
Y'all have a good weekend. Good night, Terry. Good night,
You
Dwayne.
too, my dear. Good night, everybody. Oh, Terry's still here?
Terry's still here. He was the missing one.
Terry, you're a trooper, man.
We'll see
Good night,
y'all.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.